Nerdrotic.com.
Oh, this is sudden stuff.
It's so sudden. It's so sudden.
There you go. I was about to hit that, man.
Yeah. That probably is a better transition.
It's the time of the nooner.
Oh,
Nooner.
yeah.
It's 1/4 the hour, but you can still have a nooner. Takes 15 minutes to drive home from work to get that nooner. So you got an hour from lunch, okay?
Yep.
And I've done the science on this, okay? You got 15 minutes to drive home from work. To get there, 15 minutes. Disrobe. You eat your lunch. Re-robe. And you got 15 minutes to get back to work. Always try to work very close to home, and you can have a good nooner. That's right.
Or you could have your nooner at work. I'm sure a lot of people out there in the chat right now are having nooners.
Yeah.
Make sure there's a lock
while
on the
they're
door.
listening. Yep. Chris, you ever had a nooner?
Yes, I have. But I'm old enough to remember there's another song from the 70s that covers this topic very well in detail. It's called Afternoon Delight.
Afternoon Delight.
Oh my God.
Well, that was like the antithesis for the name of the show, which again came from the chat. Just like Friday Night Tights. So, bless you, chat.
Bless you, chat.
Bless you.
Damn it. Now I'm thinking of that stupid song in my head right now. I can't get it out of my head.
You know,
I always think of Arrested Development.
Paul Chato.
With his niece.
Yeah.
Paul Chato, executive.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
I had
Chato.
no idea he was part of the comedy troupe. I'm blanking on their names now. That did Boot to the Head. That used to be a classic Dr. Demento song. Boot to the Head. Boot to the Head. Come on. What was the name of it? I was listening to Midnight's Edge yesterday. I was like, no way. I listened to that song all the time. Dr. Demento was my soundtrack when I was a little kid. I discovered him. He was on some LA station. It was I can't remember which one. Yeah. But we could only get it at night in San Diego. Right. And then
Demento?
Dr. Demento. And
thanks, chat.
5. Yeah. But yeah, I heard that yesterday. I'm like, no way.
Dude, what is
it? Was like one of the #1 songs forever. Boot to the Head. Go listen to it. It's pretty funny. I don't know how I got on that, but we have a lot to talk about today because the MCU has been confirmed by Marvel
directly. Oh, beautiful.
Because it's International Women's Day. Because now their time of the month becomes a whole month.
Can you imagine a whole month of
when
that?
When did it go from a day to a month? That's sudden. That's the same
It's
way with the Pride
International
Month. It
Women's
was a
Month.
day, and then it turned into a month all of a sudden, and nobody talked about it.
You know what? It's probably because we women saw, they get a whole month, the Pride Month, and they get a whole month, the Black History Month. Why don't we get a whole month?
Like, what about
Equality.
this?
Well, yeah, just
This
the
empty month
majority
here
of
in
the
between.
planet gets a whole month. It's all right. We'll just continue dying.
We'll take the rest of the months. That's fine.
Sacrificing ourselves for the girl is the key to everything, every single day. Yeah. So we got an MCU video produced by Disney Marvel. I couldn't have done better myself.
With the powers of Perry Chan.
With the powers of Perry Chan,
difficult.
it almost goes perfectly with my next video.
It almost
It's
does.
like the universe unfolds as it should. It's kind of exciting. I'm in the middle of recording that, by the way. I don't know. It's my OCD or whatever, but I hate being in like video mode and I got to stop like
Oh, yeah,
immediately.
you got to pull out
It's
of
like,
that.
oh,
You're in the
God.
flow state.
The creative
Yeah.
juices.
Yep. The juices.
Mm.
Hello. Speaking of juices, hi, Chris Gore. How are you?
Hey man, how's it going? Just I'm excited for the Oscars this weekend.
Are you?
Is that this weekend? Wow.
No, I'm actually not. No, I'm excited to get it over with so
Yeah.
we can move on. It's sort of like it marks the end of award season, but I'm also excited you're going to be joining us on the Film Threat Oscars watch party on Sunday.
I will.
Very exciting. At least I don't know how much you'll be able to stand it, Gary, but as much as you can possibly stand. And we're gonna have other people on there. Chato will be on. Az is gonna join for a bit. It's gonna be familiar faces. So I'm excited to just talk about the Oscars and get this thing over with. We can all suffer together, is what I'm saying. So yeah, but this I also can't wait to see your reaction to this video that just dropped. Not just now.
Yeah,
I-
I saw
We
people.
watched the first 2 seconds of it. We're like,
I was getting added immediately. Everybody's like, one guy's like, you better
You
get a
watch it.
royalty check for this.
So I've seen the video. It's literally like a video that you would make, except Marvel made it. And the only thing missing is your VO. Literally, you could just not edit this at all. Just add your VO, and it's something you made.
perfect.
It's
Harry, are you
crazy.
watching?
Beautiful.
This might go perfectly. I was like, how am I going to end this video? And as this thing pops up, I'm all, oh, thank
There
you.
you go.
Oh, hey.
Ah.
So Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win Best Picture, isn't it?
Probably.
I think it is.
It could be that or women talking. Just because
Oh
It's one of
no,
those, like,
no,
her-
no,
Is,
no, no,
is
no.
Oscar Beatty.
to me, the best film, if you have to pick one, is going to be All Quiet on the Western Front. It is an amazing war film. I saw it in a theater, and that the sound, just everything about it's just like all encompassing. It's
The Whale.
it's
That's a good
epic.
point. The Whale came out this season.
Yeah,
think
well,
that
Brendan
has any-
Fraser's probably going to win for best
Best
actor.
actor. Yeah, but
That'd
I think
that'd be
Everything
great. You know,
Everywhere
I-
All at Once.
Yeah,
Brendan
yeah.
Fraser.
It's a
Yeah.
pretty good movie. I mean, it's like I wouldn't be against it winning.
No, it's I mean, it's heartbreaking film. Brendan Fraser's great in it, and his personal story is part of, I think, why people win awards, right? Like they want
Right.
to see this person win. Austin Butler, great. I think it's a better performance in Elvis, but he's young. He's gonna have a long career. He's
Mhm.
Fade Routha with an Elvis accent.
Just
apparently.
getting a nom is good, for
So-
his career.
Yeah, for sure. But God, I hope he doesn't talk like Elvis in Dune 2. That would be weird.
I watched a actors roundtable with him when he was talking about how hard it was sometimes to like get rid of that voice because he would spoken it so oftenly.
Right. God, I'm sorry to derail your show
You're not.
Gary, by talking about the Oscars.
Is somebody gonna get slapped? If
Uh,
nobody's
it's
getting
not-
slapped, I don't know about this. And
Look,
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy
Kimmel did.
Jimmy Kimmel, not a fan. I think he's awful.
Mm.
But he's the safe choice because it's ABC.
He's the
But
only
it's
choice.
look, I make a prediction every year about the Oscars. It always comes true. It will be boring. It's going to be boring. That is 100%. You can bet on that. It's just you hope for something to go wrong.
With
'Cause that's the
Kimmel
only-
hosting, I mean, like we're gonna come get it back to prominence and bring in Jimmy Kimmel,
Right.
like who who gets constantly beat by cable shows, by the way.
Yes.
Like, it's a talk show. It's been dead since Craig Ferguson, to be honest with you. But yeah, like Greg Gutfield like beats his ass on freaking Fox.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, which is hilarious. And there's, I mean, soon there will be shows on YouTube that are beating his ass. I mean, if you look at the overall count, they probably already do.
Well, something that's interesting to consider. I'm sure you're aware of the Independent Spirit Awards. They would air on IFC. It's sort of it's like Oscars Junior. It's if you're going to lose at the Oscars, you will win at the Spirit Awards. It aired on the Independent Film Channel. It was always the Saturday before the Oscars. Well, guess what? It didn't air on IFC. They showed it on YouTube. They showed it on YouTube and it got 34,000 views. And they ran it on multiple YouTube channels, including IMDb's channel where it got the most views. Literally a television show that was a big show with sponsors and advertisers. Every major celebrity was there also. Now is on YouTube. Now I'm not disparaging YouTube, but this shows where that market is, that now the major award show, a major award show that's been around for decades, is now on. They're just like, you know what, put it on YouTube because they can't get sponsors willing to even get it on a television.
The sponsors are on YouTube. That's where
they are. They are. They're going to get crushed. They're going to get, you don't need, I mean, it's okay to have a studio or if you want to have a crazy room like I do, and it's fine, right. But like, you don't need a building on Fifth Avenue that costs you, $30 million a month in rent or whatever.
Massive crew that you have to pay the
massive
unions for,
like, hundreds of people unionized. Broadcast is like not necessary anymore. It's just not.
No, well, first of all, it's exciting to me because then more eyeballs on YouTube, more people have to come to YouTube, the more likely they may discover a show like yours.
There you go.
So I think that's ultimately a good thing, but it shows you took a genre of entertainment, the award show, which was, up there with ratings of the Super Bowl, and you've now diminished it to YouTube.
Yes.
Fodder. And even the Oscars official YouTube channel is very active in a way that they didn't used to be. They're posting old clips. They're running like these little retrospectives. They realize like they have to use the YouTube space to reach out. But I think it's a dead format. Like the late night comedic talk show is a dead format. Award shows are a dead format. It just is. So,
and if the Oscars and award shows are a dead format, what does that say about the stuff they're awarding?
Well, there's a correlation. I think I sent you a chart about that. There's a correlation between box office and popular movies and the ratings of the Oscars. They kept choosing less and less popular movies, more on the indie scale, like a film like The Whale or All Quiet on the Western Front, which, Gary, I think you would love. It's on Netflix, right? Just
I'm going to see it.
Crank that sound. It is so mind-blowing. That story is a great story. Even the original film from the 30s, based on the novel, it's about World War I, right? I think it's a much better film than 1917. But
really, because I love 1917.
I think this is better. I think this is better. It's you don't need the gimmick of the one shot, right? Like this is just, it's freaking brutal and heartbreaking and horrifying. So I'm just trying to convince you to see another movie you might not see. Like
I was gonna this is on my plans, and plus it'll look good in my home theater, like RRR will.
You got to see RRR too.
My life is lived in between making videos.
Right.
That's where I do all my life stuff. And I've had, because today, by the way, happy birthday, Mrs. Nerdrotic.
Oh, happy birthday, Mrs. Nerdrotic.
Yeah. On International Women's Day, and Jeremy's birthday from Geeks and Gamers.
Well, that makes sense. Jeremy's birthday. That's
Oh, totally. Right. I guess happy birthday to that.
I guess.
I was going to say a gamer word.
Too early in the stream for that.
Too early in the stream for that.
Yeah, I was watching Tuesday Night's Main Event last night, and when Jeremy's birthday came up, he's just like how I feel about my birthday. I just don't care. If you want to buy me a drink, cool,
dude.
But other than that,
after like
40, it's like if you get
13.
50, that's cool. Do your 50th, and then It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I don't care about my birthday.
My youngest is like, "When's your birthday?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter, son. I don't even worry about it."
Yeah. Just say happy birthday, and then we can move on to another topic.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
I'm
about
good.
It. Jeremy's the same way. I was like, oh, cool. I'm not the only one who feels this way.
But happy birthday to my lady.
Work to do.
We're going out to dinner tonight. She got some prezzies. But she does the birthday. She likes to do like all girls' birthday palooza.
Birthday week.
Yeah, week, month.
Yeah,
just like
month.
International
Happy
Women's
Women's Month and Mrs. Nerdrotic.
Yes. How you doing, Quarter Black?
Doing good, man. It's been a good week. I've taken up a second job, Gary. I'm sorry. It's painting minis. I've been sitting in my kitchen painting miniature figures all week long. Every second I'm not on stream, I'm painting minis. So it's been good.
That's good.
I'm getting my wife into it. She's painting these little mini figures. I'm turning her into a nerd slowly.
That's
It'll
good.
happen eventually.
Then it'll happen to the kids, and then you'll be a good dad. Well, you're already a good dad, but
well,
well
I gotta
done.
pass it down.
I thought you were going to tell me you're going back to Crowder.
No. That's no.
That was big news yesterday. I was watching
that's pretty cool. That's good.
Yeah,
good for him,
yeah,
man.
good for Rumble. I think it's a good move.
Wait, what's
It's
the
a good
Crowder news?
combo.
He's going to Rumble. I mean,
Oh.
he's starting the show
I
on
think it was
Rumble.
on Rumble.
It's still going to be on YouTube, I think.
No,
but
okay.
Is it Rumble exclusive? Is it? I
could
be
would
wrong.
expect so because
Correct
he was
me.
already on Rumble for a long time.
Yeah.
So I would assume it would just be exclusive, but I don't really know.
If I was in his position, why not? I mean, like,
Yeah.
you don't need YouTube now. But yeah.
Yeah, good for him, man.
Then
It's
we
awesome.
have. Hang on.
Oh.
Oh, he's readying it.
Yes.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Today. Good.
I don't know what to do. Ooh, those strings are getting plucked. Hello, Gary from Nerdrotic. I too have a new job. It's called being a survivalist on Sons of the Forest.
Oh, that's my second job. That's
Second job.
playing the crap out of that too.
Yeah, like it's so much that we're having Sunday Fun Day, not on a Sunday every
Mhm.
day. So
Yeah.
I was just maybe.
Yeah, I love Az taking all my staff and just playing video games. So it's great. Just kidding.
Hey, I left the stream on Sunday. We did our show, and then I went back to the.
Yeah,
the
he
stream.
did. Till like 2 or 3 in the morning. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
we played late. We played late.
Well, that's why, the work schedule here is crazy, but it works because we work
Mhm.
like hell for like 4 days, 3-4 days.
It's a
And
sprint.
then there's like 3 or 4
Relax.
days where you can do what you want while I'm
Love it.
getting ready for the next thing if it
Yeah.
happens. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. I'm like, oh well. Like, okay. April O'Neil. I'm not gonna make a video on it. I'll talk about it on live streams. It's just
Yeah.
it's just another it's
Just
just
add it to the
another
pile.
thing. Added to the Mount Everest pile of gender and race swaps that woke Hollywood it's just dying. And nobody's going to care about this movie. This is the most attention this movie will get.
Razorfist did a great video on it, and he said it doesn't matter because TMNT is impervious. It cannot be changed. It was perfect when it came out. The movie was perfect. The cartoon was perfect.
Yep.
And you got a blip in like the early 2000s with that revived TV show. That was a pretty good show. But that's pretty much it.
It's
and
one of the
set in
few
stone.
properties.
You can't change it.
Yeah, there's like later stuff that's bad, but up until a certain point, it was one of the few properties that everything was good about it. The comic, the show, the movie. The only one I can think of that's like perfect through all iterations is The Tick. The Tick has had 2 live action
2
TV shows
shows
that are great. It's had a cartoon that's great and a comic that's great. Hail The Tick.
Yeah,
I love
The Tick is awesome.
Yeah, it's so good. Ben Edlund is a genius. But yeah, so you want to watch this video now?
Yeah, let's watch that video.
Let's watch
Yes.
the video. Then we'll talk about some other stuff. I think
There's a
oh
lot.
yeah,
There's a lot coming
Disney
out.
Star Wars canceling some stuff.
Yeah.
And go over the Picard.
You mean
debate a little
delaying?
bit.
It's being delayed.
like all the MCU stuff has just been delayed magically
Yeah.
after the huge hit of She-Hulk and the massively successful, oh wait, not so much, Marvel Phase 4. Everything's delayed
They keep trying to say that
because
Ant-Man
they're out
was
of
good.
money. We keep like,
Gary.
what did one of Chris's friends tell us at the 35er months ago, Chris? Hollywood is broke. Look for stuff to get canceled. People are getting fired.
Hollywood is broke, and there's a French Revolution type of event that's going to occur to shake things out. That's what I heard. But yeah, so there we are. Here we are.
Yep.
Let them eat
Yeah,
cake.
cool.
I didn't know Razorfist put out a video.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It's great.
I'll watch it right
I mean, everything he does is great.
Don't let
Everything he does
April
is
eat
great.
cake though.
No.
Remember when the Amazing Atheist said that he created the genre I'm in? I didn't want to respond, but I was going to respond. I didn't know you're Razor Fist. You don't look or sound like Razor Fist.
Yeah, I don't... Razorfish, you eating some?
That's who I was
cheeseburgers
watching.
lately.
I don't know about, I never heard of that dude at the time, but yeah. Oh, they're gonna ruin Punisher. Yes, we got to talk about that. That's why I'm wearing the shirt. But let's watch this video from the people who will be making Daredevil Born Again and Punisher. Am I gonna pull it up? I guess I can pull
Oh,
it
you
up.
already had. I figured you had.
I got it. I got it. Full screen this. You ready? It's called M-Power.
Right.
M-Power.
No.
M-Power. You ready for this, folks?
I'll never be ready.
This might be butt-puckering cringe. We'll find out.
We've never seen a world like this, populated with so many different faces and colors. It's a beautiful thing to see. About to show these boys how we do it.
We're all recognizing that these stories need to be told about women.
Wanda, her vulnerability in her emotional life is when she's at her most powerful.
Wait, is that when she enslaves hundreds of men, women, and children because her vibrator broke?
That's
Or
it. Yeah.
Or was it when she tried to kidnap the little girl who's the key to everything to continue slaughtering more people for children that never existed? Is that empowering?
Yeah.
God. This is worse than I thought, Chris.
It's important to recognize yourself. You could watch it and think, people that look like me, we can be superheroes too.
You could have done that the whole time. There were people that looked like you the entire time. For you to enjoy.
You know, I don't look like Peter Parker. I don't.
There's that too.
But
you don't need people to
pretend
look
I was
like you.
Spider-Man when I was a little kid. By the way, if you're an adult and you need to see your exact self staring back at you at the screen, therapy. That's what you require. You're not going to get your validation from a crappy woke intersectional movie.
Oh my God.
Hey, people with big fists are now represented. There's this one guy in Sri Lanka with huge fists
like,
going,
"Look at
I
these
can
mitts."
see myself now.
I just think Dhalsim. Do you remember from Street Fighter 2? Dhalsim?
Oh yeah.
Stretch his arms. Anyways, forget. Yeah, exactly.
Now he can see himself.
When I see big old fists like that, my
He's
mind
Indian
goes
too,
somewhere
so
else.
it makes sense.
Oh no.
Big fist.
It's so important for women to be behind the scenes as well. We need all the
Nope, it's not important at all. Get him out of there. Okay. It's important for talented women to be directing stuff. I think that's really important to have talented
Love
women.
that.
Yeah.
If you guys could find some of those, or
that would
talented
be
men,
really cool.
at this point, Hollywood, if you could find talented people,
Talent.
that's I
POT.
think
That's
is what people
need to worry
care about.
People of talent.
Yeah, they could have whatever they want.
Are they going to
between their
tell
legs.
us that these voices of individual females who are not a collective or a hive mind, except when they work together in an office, and then it gets a little crazy.
those voices at the table.
That empower us all. You mean
Empower.
like Jack Schaefer, who wrote WandaVision, who admitted openly that it was confusing for her to read a comic book. She didn't know how to read a comic book.
Didn't know where the bubbles. Where do I read?
Didn't know where
which
the bubbles
bubble
go.
next?
That's empowering.
You learn when you are
Oh my.
tested, you're stronger, taller, bigger than you thought.
Wait, who was that?
That
Was
was
that
Brie.
Brie?
Bree?
Yeah,
Go back. No
that was
way.
Brie. I don't even know what the fuck she's
That
talking
did
about
not
right
look
here.
like her.
That sounded like her though.
You're stronger, taller, bigger than
I
you
gotta
thought.
go back farther.
The table. I learned when you are tested, you're stronger, taller, bigger than you thought.
I'm not interested
she
in the
looks
glass
rough.
ceiling. I'm interested in the brick wall. Because if I take down the brick wall, then we can redesign the building. And that's the only way to go forward.
Tearing it all down.
Tearing
Taylor,
it all
wow.
down and
Mm.
redesigning it. We're just gonna
Alright.
redesign society, everyone.
Congratulations, you did that with the MCU. Now
You
it's
did.
shit.
You tore it down and you redesigned it.
Yeah.
You did it.
You did it. Well done.
Good for you.
I can't believe that they put this shit out. Like when they're delaying everything. Ant-Man is fucking flopping right now. She-Hulk was the worst thing they put out on Disney Plus. And after just a series of failures, and the only two good things, one was a Sony movie and the other one was a Christmas special.
But Gary, they had to delay it to show how awesome women are in a video.
It's so
They had to
empowering to
empower
put
them.
women in shows that are now delayed.
Well, to be serious for a moment, this is one of the best videos you've ever edited, Gary. I think it's awesome.
Thank
did a
you.
great job.
Well, I mean, you know, it's been a while since I've edited, but yeah, I this is what I had in my mind, and I don't know if Perry's out there or not.
Perfect.
But bookmark this, please.
Barry should make a parody of this.
Please
Oh,
bookmark this. I might have to do a separate video on this too.
just for this.
Oh my god. Okay.
Why
So
didn't they just call it MCU? They should have just called it MCU.
they just should have called it MCU. I got to hear that again.
Empower.
I don't even like who is it?
Everything?
Okay.
Oh
Oh my
my
god,
God.
this is amazing. We got to tear it down.
When you're tested, you're like powerful and stuff.
I don't want to break the glass ceiling. I want to
This
break
is
the
a
brick wall.
This is a production designer.
In the glass ceiling.
Communist.
I'm interested in the brick wall. Because if I take down the brick wall, then we can redesign the building. And that's the only way to go forward.
Communism.
But we
Okay,
have to
the only way to go forward is to tear everything down and rebuild it. So who's going to rebuild it? How's it going to get rebuilt? What's the incentive to rebuild it? Why are you tearing it down? You look like you have a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Production
What?
designer in Hollywood.
You're
See,
there.
that's one of the major problems, like regular paying customers, your general public has. They hear this. They hear the victimization from people who are making money, making pretend. And what they hear at their core, at their soul, is ingratitude. It's like, you're fucking doing great. You're a production designer at Marvel for Disney. It's like the pinnacle of Hollywood. I would just be pinching myself going, this is the best job in the world. But no, we hear these people who are doing great, who just can't get there out of their own mentality of victimization. So it's crabs in a bucket. Even when they are quote unquote successful, they are not allowed to feel successful based on a system that continually calls them marginalized. That's why you're not marginalized. You're actually doing pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're not going to keep your job because you're making shit, because you're too concerned about anything other than your art.
power to represent what the world looks like today.
I knew we'd get that. What the world looks like today. Hey, Chris, what did the world look like 20 years ago?
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because people have always accused the Oscars of being, weighted towards a certain group, but it's not true. If you look at the history of the Oscars, it's pretty evenly spread by population percentage. People have done the studies, and it's when you look at the data.
That's what's
when you just
wrong,
look
though.
at the data,
Population
look at the-
percentage is racist.
Well, if you look at the data by by representation, it's pretty well represented. It's pretty. I mean, it's somewhat. The WGA is an overrepresentation, right? It's almost 20% of the DGA are black writers, and it's 13% of the population. So, you know, I just think that could it have gotten better? Yeah, but it's like, this is not new. It's just, I don't know. Yeah,
it's focusing. It's seeing where you want to see more representation, and then choosing the wrong path to get to there. Focusing on the wrong things. Going, hey, there's not a lot of black voices in this field. Okay, whatever. But you're focusing on their race and not the people. So then you're never going to really get there, because all you're doing is raising people up that should not be there. You're raising them up without talent. And then when they make a movie and it's not good, when they do a bad job, then they get called out. Then you say that it's racist. It's like, no, they're just not good.
They didn't deserve it in the first place.
Yeah. And there's fantastic voices out there, creatives that do great work, that are black and that are women, that are whatever. It doesn't matter. But whenever you drown them out with a bunch of untalented hacks because you want to just fill a quota, you diminish their quality.
Accomplishments.
Their accomplishments.
Rob Burnett was talking about this, and we were both talking about this. It's like, I don't remember a time when Hollywood wasn't diverse, especially behind the scenes. It just always has been. I think there's certain types of people attracted to certain types of roles. Yeah. I would say the hair and makeup department, for the most part, is women and gay men. That's it. Yep. That's all. I've never known a hair and makeup department that wasn't a gay man or women. And it's just certain types of people are attracted to certain types of work.
And the very few straight men that own hair salons own hair salons, and they get more than your average rock star. Just saying.
Right.
Male cheerleaders.
But it's
like straight male cheerleaders.
I just think it's funny that this video is literally just like I joked earlier, you could have made this video, Gary. It's just so like and I've come to the conclusion finally that
it's pander to the max.
Couple quick points. Disney's a girl brand. Disney is not a brand.
Yes, it is.
Has any interest in Disney? When you look at Star Wars, the evolution of Star Wars under Disney, when you look at the evolution of Marvel under Disney, it is a girl brand straight through. And some of this is a weird connection. Elijah Schaefer on his show, he interviewed a woman who was talking about feminism and how it's changed a lot of things for good and bad, but a lot of things interesting. She was talking about how 85% women hold 85% of the purse strings when it comes to spending. So this is almost like a calculated move when they're like, why are they trying to appeal to women? Because they're the ones that mainly control money, right? They control money in a household. In addition, women control what DNA, what genes move on, because women choose the men that they are going to be with to procreate, whether it be, whether it be through marriage or whether it be through, by accident. They're making the choice, and then maybe even deciding, even though they've gotten pregnant, to not continue in that direction. I'm trying to speak around these things, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. The point is what the woman was trying to make. You should watch this interview, Gary, because it connects to this in an odd way. It's weird that I watched that yesterday. Really great deep dive about all the changes that are happening now that are not for the good in society. And this is all being borne out in our pop culture. But I guarantee that there's some data analyst at Disney saying, well, women, they're the ones that decide how money is spent in a household. And I mean, look, I can attest to that. Certain things, true. Like, I don't really care what decor. You pick that. You pick the couch. You pick the whatever. We'll do, when it comes to what TV shows or what DVDs, I'll buy the DVDs in the household. It's just very, very interesting that Disney is leaned so far into taking two brands, Marvel and Star Wars, mainly targeted towards men and boys. I'm sorry.
That's why they bought them. That's why they bought them. They needed to bring more men and boys into Disney. That was their whole purpose of it.
Well, they
And-
feminized both of them, and
Yes, they did.
I think you've seen the results, and it's not
And the-
appealing.
And
Nobody
the rest of
likes it.
Hollywood,
Women don't like it.
Post
Women don't like it.
The Orange Man, post Harvey Weinstein, that all culminated in this effect of going off of the 2014 comic data and some really basic bitch movie data that 50% of your potential customers are women. It's like, yeah, they always have been. But they really leaned into that. And instead of following actual trends, getting actual data, they started to believe what they wanted to believe and started to, instead of reacting, because they, like, Hollywood still reacts to trends. They don't really create them unless you're in the independent sphere. That's where trends are created, on the streets and in the independent sphere. They end the end of the road for them.
MCU
is the giant corporations, right? So what they decided to do was ignore all that and started to make their own and started to craft their own narratives. And that's when the fan attacks started, because we were calling it out immediately. We're like, this is bullshit. You're just lying. You're just lying. And they had plenty of people who are willing to support what they say on face value. Now we're years into this. Plenty of us have pointed out their disingenuousness, their outright lies. They have behind the scenes helped coordinate attacks on attacks. What I mean is trying to discredit and remove and silence voices who are critical here on YouTube, especially from Disney, particularly from Lucasfilm, but other places too. And now it's falling apart for them. And this is proof that the last company on earth that's going to change is Disney. Disney will ride this into the ground because they're incapable. They're too big. They're too damn big to succeed at this point.
Well, what I'm saying is that I believe that this, sweeping change is being motivated by data. And that's what made this conversation on Elijah Schaffer's show so fascinating, is this woman was just trying to point out how male-female relationships have changed from 100 years ago, and how and it's all data driven. So just unemotionally looking at it. So I can see a big corporation like Disney making these choices purely based on the data, right? Like, well, but it's not working because it's just, and you look at the two biggest movies of last year. Okay. Whatever you think of those movies, Top Gun, Maverick, and Avatar 2, right? Like look, mostly male driven, strong male lead characters. In fact, in the case of Avatar Way of Water, I know you don't love that movie, Gary. I like the fact that movie has a very strong family structure, a strong father figure who wants to protect his family. That message appeals to me because I don't even see it that often. It's like water. It's drinking the worst drink ever, but you're in a desert. It's like, I'll take this. I'll take this awful urine.
Family. Okay. Oh, delicious.
Yeah, exactly. Like just something like, wow, a movie that actually uplifts a family structure and shows sort of the challenges of raising a family while you're trying to run from invaders, whatever.
Yeah. There's an underlying truth.
Yes.
That audiences want to see traditional storytelling. Weird.
Well, because
like,
because Los Angeles,
time.
because to bring us back to this video, because Los Angeles and Hollywood and New York are completely disconnected from the general public.
They're in a bubble
from their paying customers. They are in the worst of bubbles, and their town, San Francisco, New York, don't even operate like the rest of the country or the rest of the world. How many times do I hear our European friends going, God, I'm tired of these specifically American ideals put in, like, not which side politically, they just say American, and they're right. So it's Hollywood's arrogance as usual, thinking that they're the most in tune when they're the least in tune. Let's see the rest of this.
We can take these characters' motivations and bring it into our own lives, and it empowers us.
Okay. Yeah, motivations like enslaving thousands of people in a small town. You'll never know.
spoken like
They'll
Monica
never
Rambeau, who just let a war criminal go, basically let Hitler go.
And like was like, you
To
go,
go be
girl,
more
as she
Hitler.
left. You go, girl.
They'll never understand what you went through. No, they won't, because they'll be dead. She'll kill them.
Just let us die. That was in the same show.
It was in the
same
show.
episode.
And then when they go, because I'm kind of working on this.
Oh my god.
But they go right into the next movie, and she's like, "I made things right." I'm like,
What did you?
When was
They must have cut that movie out. I didn't see that.
In Power, a 4-part series now streaming only on Disney Plus.
4-part series? Oh man.
Yes and no, because I have to watch them.
No.
No.
4 parts.
Garrett, get ready.
Poor Garrett.
I would paint a couple of figures for about an hour today.
Yeah, just to get away.
Get ready to work, because I just came up with a great idea, which I cannot say publicly because I don't want somebody else to take it. But I'll tell you in a minute.
All right.
I'll tell you, and I'll put it in the private chat.
4-part series.
Man.
You've got like months worth of content out of that show.
Empower.
It's crazy.
Oh my God, bless you, Marvel. Bless you, Disney Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Just when you think they've put out the worst thing possible, they put something else out.
They put something else out. They just do it. You know? And I think the corporations that will change are the ones who who are suffering massive losses right now, and they're just they have no choice. So Warner Brothers, I'm not saying they're going to change right. I'm going to say they're going to try. And what will probably happen is they're going to want their cake and eat it too. They're going to try to satisfy an audience they've been trying to satisfy for 5 years that just simply doesn't buy anything. But then they're going to try to like go a little Top Gun too. And we'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. But even a great example is Picard. Picard season 3. Good stuff. I like it. Does it save Star Trek? No, absolutely not. If anything, it gives you a little goodbye to TNG. Now, if Paramount comes to their senses and, gets rid of Kurtzman and brings in Metalis, then maybe. But that, as it stands right now, that's not happening. We're going to get more Kurtzman Trek. So no, it doesn't. Can RTD save Doctor Who? I said this after Timeless Children. Even if they wipe out the Timeless Children and bring back David and things are fine, you're not going to get your whole audience back. It's never going to be at its heights again because you've just alienated too many fans. And that's why we made videos. That's why we were, honest, hyperbolic at times, but honest, and said, we still want to love your stuff. You're just telling us to fuck off. So there's a point where we do, and then apathy kicks in. Disney Star Wars is going through that right now. Right now. What do we got? What happened yesterday while we were on Real BBC? You want to find that article? So hot off the heels of Marvel delaying pretty much half of their Phase 4 TV shows, most of them. Star Wars shakeup. Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins movies shelved. Taika Waititi looking to star in his own film, which will never happen, dude. So
what about that Rian Johnson movie trilogy? When's that coming out?
I know, right? So based on what I've heard, and I said this a month ago, I said it 2 weeks ago too. Look for a lot of stuff to get canceled and delayed and never spoke of again unless it's been shot. Like even Star Trek Discovery, its final season got delayed. And it's not because they're trying to make it better. It's they're trying to finish up quicker with less money. They're just trying to wrap it up and get it the hell out. So yeah. Chris, what do you think about this Disney Star Wars news?
First of all, not a surprise at all.
No.
I mean, with something, it's not in active development. Those are dead projects. Those are piles of scripts, notes, or files that are in some development executive's office. I don't think these things were going to happen. Anyways, they have technically they've announced more projects that have not happened than have happened. Remember the Game of Thrones guys were going to do a trilogy. Rian Johnson was going to do a trilogy. That's 6 movies. Like Like they were going to make a Lando movie. Do you remember that? There was supposed to be Solo Part 2. That if you watch that movie, and I think I saw it all of twice.
There was a Darth Maul cameo there at the end.
There was it set up a bunch of stuff. It set up conflict that could have carried on into a trilogy of Han Solo movies. The least inspired, the worst title of any Star Wars movie ever is Solo. What a terrible, look, I knew
they're pivoting.
It's a terrible
again.
concept. Why you're going to make a movie about a guy who just died on screen badly?
Yeah,
exactly. And these are like, yeah, exactly. So why do we even care to go back? Right? Oh God, it just
no. Rise of Skywalker is pretty bad title too.
Yeah,
it's fucking
it
terrible.
didn't fulfill what that title should have been, which is
no. It went right.
And
with
we'll go
how
over
bad that
this.
movie was.
And Favreau reiterated recently on a podcast that Mandalorian, Ahsoka are all leading to the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
man said it. The man said it. Okay, so
I've been saying this whole time, it
yeah.
all leads to Luke Skywalker drinking booby milk.
Booby milk. You can't put the soy milk back into the titty. Happy Women's Day. When Jon Favreau stepped onto the red carpet for the season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian, which second episode came out today, and I could not be bothered to watch it. Chris, we'll get your thoughts on it too. I do know what happens in the beginning, and for such a big galaxy, they run into a lot of familiar people or robots.
Right.
Mostly. On February 28th, the D+ show creator and executive producer was feeling nostalgic. It's been a while since we've all been together here, Favreau told Variety, evoking the November 2019 premiere of the launch of the show and of Disney Plus itself. Remember, this was its flagship show. It was before the first episode aired. At the time, The Mandalorian was a scrappy land speeder in the vast Star Wars galaxy, nipping at the heels of The Rise of Skywalker, the culminating feature from the Jar Jar Abrams that was expected just a month later to obliterate the box office like a cinematic Death Star. Instead, The Mandalorian became a global sensation thanks to the incandescent cuteness of Baby Yoda. So we were billed this like kind of gritty bounty hunter story that's totally not like Boba Fett.
Chops the guy's head off in a door.
We got that in the first episode, and then it was cutesy tootsie time, pop finals. Yee. Blasting D+ into light speed with 26.5 million subscribers in its first 6 weeks. Had nothing to do with the Verizon deal.
No. I wonder how that number's doing now.
Yeah. Scroll down a little bit, please. South by Southwest. Scroll up a little bit.
South by Southwest.
When's South by Southwest? You're going there, right?
I am not. Alan is going.
Oh, Alan.
Alan Ng is going to be there. So
you want to go to Vegas instead? Fuck.
I kind of do, but even the timing of that is bad. So.
Oh, dude,
I've been to South by Southwest.
You're going to be there. You're going to be there.
All right.
I'll kidnap your ass.
Bring Alan too.
Yeah. But no, Alan's going to be, he's leaving for South by tomorrow. So he'll be in Austin, Texas. He's basically just going to be living in a
How long is it going for? Is it like a couple weeks or is it?
It goes a couple
like
weeks.
A week and a half or something.
Okay, because I'm going to be in Austin on the 14th because I got Joe Rogan tickets.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's part of Melissa's present. So,
nice.
Going
Very
to see
close.
Joe Rogan. I think he's doing like 6 shows at some place.
Wow.
So
he's probably working out material, maybe.
I had to scalp him. Well, I had to get him off StubHub. I couldn't, like, they were sold out so fast. He posted it on Twitter, and an hour later, they were all gone.
That should be illegal, scalping tickets.
It's capitalism. It's all right.
Yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker, on the other hand, imploded in spectacular fashion. Wow. Variety. You freaking bigots. The film earned just half the grosses of 2015's The Force Awakens, with the widespread scorn of fans, and Star Wars movie development had been stuck in the bogs of Dagobah ever since, whereas D+ boasts a robust fleet of live-action Star Wars series. Is it robust?
No, I love how they can you wait 4 years and then now it's okay to say it imploded. It was hated by the majority of the fans. Why is it okay now? We're saying the same thing about the TV shows that are on Disney Plus now, but you're saying it's okay.
Do you remember the multiple articles that were accusing us of being Russian agents.
Yes. Dude.
There was an entire article written, supported by people like Pedro Pascal, that accused us of taking our orders from Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
Over effing Star Wars.
But Variety can say it when it's nice and safe. Later, when it's confirmed that the movie flopped hard and people did not like it, it's safe to say it now.
Don't need an apology. I'm very happy to see their integrity and their go down the toilet. That does my heart good. Yeah. Where was I? Whereas Disney Plus, D Plus, boasts a robust fleet of live action Star Wars, so confirming that they have turned a cinematic franchise into a direct to video franchise. Movie has received a green light. Not a single Star Wars movie has received a green light, let alone gone into production. The earliest the film is scheduled to debut in theaters is December 2025, which won't happen. 6 years after The Rise of Skywalker. It's not for want of trying. In December 2020, Lucasfilm chief Kathleen Kennedy announced that Wonder Woman helmer Patty Jenkins would direct the next Star Wars movie. They did a video on it, by the way. She did a whole promotional video.
Was it
talking about her dad? Yeah. The one-off adventure Rogue Squadron. But in September 2022, Disney pulled the title from its schedule December 2023 release, and sources with knowledge of production say it is no longer in active development at the studio. A rep for Lucasfilm did not respond to a request for comment. In December, Jenkins said in a statement that she was still developing Rogue Squadron, but I don't know if it will happen or not. Well, I guess it's not happening. Sorry, Patty. Meanwhile, Variety has learned that a possible Star Wars future produced by Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige is no longer in active development at Lucasfilm.
He's got a lot on his plate right now, trying to hold up all the plates falling down.
Can I do this too? Wait, I spoke to somebody with knowledge of the situation.
Oh, insider knowledge.
And who just straight up said that Kevin Feige is spread too thin. It's really obvious, but he's spread too thin. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but the way things go in Hollywood, once you're given power, you're like a king. Okay. You cannot show any weaknesses, or you'll get Game of Thrones. You'll get your throne usurped. Even if you're Kevin Feige. Imagine working with Victoria Alonso. Ugh. That's a ninth circle of hell.
I bet she's just constantly behind him with a knife, just waiting.
Chica Chavez.
You're going to get so many good quotes from that Empire show from her. Seriously, Gary, you know that she's
oh my God.
You know that she's in that show being interviewed, right?
Yes. Quote machine.
She is a quote machine. I'm if Perry's awake again. Dude. My bruh, we have been gifted. It's directly down from the content creator gods have gifted us a video. Oh my God. Oh, Kevin Feige's project canceled. Wow. That's kind of big news.
Yeah, that's a lot.
When news of Feige's involvement with the Star Wars film broke in September 2019, he did an interview where he admitted he was a Star Wars fan before he was a Marvel fan. And in that interview, he said he didn't really read the comics. He had pajamas and watched the cartoons. So that whole narrative of Kevin's like one of us, he knows the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he read comic books when he was a kid, is total bullshit. Now, not to be fair to him, he never said that, but he allowed that narrative to continue like a good producer would. In September 2019, it churned is a good description, up fan speculation while wildly debunked that he was in line to replace Kennedy as the leader of Lucasfilm. The movie remained alive as recently as May 2022, when screenwriter Michael Rick and Morty Waldron, keep that in mind for my next video, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, or Doctor Strange Mom, as we like to lovingly call it, told Variety that he'd started working on a Star Wars screenplay for Feige. I'm enjoying having the freedom on that to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything in the Star Wars universe, Waldron said. Well, that never bothered him with Loki, right?
Yeah.
Or Multiverse of Madness. He wrote both of those, by the way.
Genius films. Perfectly written.
Perfectly written. Hey, did you know Loki was bisexual? That was his biggest character arc in the entire thing.
I did not know I cared.
The Loki that was 10 minutes removed from Avengers. The Avengers Loki. Not any other Loki, the Avengers Loki. 5 months later, Feige hired Waldron to write the script for 2026's Avengers Secret Wars, the Endgame style culmination of the Marvel Studios multiverse saga. Between the project and the 19 other titles and counting that Marvel's announced for theaters and streaming for the next 4 years, Feige's responsibilities for the MCU are keeping him far, far away from Star Wars for much of the decade.
Yeah.
He is not going to touch it. Hey, as for the Rian Johnson, I did call him that. The in-demand filmmaker has made no secret that he still wants to make the Star Wars movies he first announced in 2017 before the release of his film, The Last Jedi. And Kennedy has been clear that Lucasfilm still wants him to, but Johnson's immediate priorities continued his Benoit Blanc movies with Daniel Craig for Netflix, because they gave him $500 million. Why not? And season 2 of the hit Peacock series Poker Face, which is kind of legitimately a hit. It made the streaming charts overall with Natasha Lyonne. I'm surprised. She was in a bad way. She was like drugged out of her freaking mind.
Yeah, good for her,
but good for her for getting out of that. We'll keep him occupied for the foreseeable future. So it's not happening. Not happening.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm happy for Rian Johnson to go make his Benoit Blanc or whatever the fuck they're called movies for the rest of time and stay the hell out of
Gay
Star
detective.
Wars.
Gay detective. That's what it should be called.
The gay detective.
That's what they want you to know about him. He's gay. Hey, he's gay.
And he's a detective.
He's a detective. Don't think about writing good plots or anything like that.
Watch the Pink Panther, okay? You want to watch films like that? Watch
the
Clue,
originals.
The Pink Panther, Murder by Death. Those are all fantastic, funny detective movies.
You know, I need to watch that with my kids. I have
Cheap
not watched
Detective,
Pink Panther with
yeah.
the kids. Correct that.
Oh, dude, you got to watch Pink Panther with the kids. They'll be dying.
Yeah,
those movies are perfect for kids. So what Star Wars movie could slot into the opening that opened December 2025 release date? Sources say Thor: Love and Thunder filmmaker Taika Waititi continues to work on his possible Star Wars feature, in which he would most likely have a part in it as well, similar to prominence to his standout role as imaginary Adolf Hitler in the Oscar-winning 2019 film Jojo Rabbit. And although Lucasfilm has yet to officially confirm it, sources say the studio is committed to a Star Wars movie from director Sherman Obaid Chinoy, a two-time Oscar-winning documentarian. What?
Documentarian?
Is it going to be a documentary? How We Fucked Up Star Wars by Sherman Obaid Chinoy. I would watch that.
Yeah, I'd love to watch that.
Who made her live-action narrative debut with 2 episodes of 2022's Miss Marvel. Oh my God.
All right. Well,
no.
Damon Lindelof.
Damon Lindelof. Yeah, what about Damon Lindelof? Oh yeah, he's there too. Damon Lindelof, Watchmen. Does anybody remember that really popular Watchmen show? It was so popular.
What happened to
it? Well, it was so popular, Chris. It was given a second season and then canceled. I was going back and forth with so many people were like, They were throwing out so many bullshit numbers for that. They were saying like 7 million people watched it, or and it was just wasn't true. Here in the States, it was watched by like 1 million people on its first episode, and then it went down from there. It was like Westworld season 3 numbers. Damon Lindelof and Justin Gibson from Counterpart's good show. Ended too early. We're attached in October to write the script for that movie. So that's a lot of movies that are not happening. Chris?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It speaks to the brand. The brand is tarnished. For me, the Kenobi was sort of the last thing I held out hope that might be worthwhile, and it wasn't. I think it was universally panned by fans. I kind of, and what's really interesting is to see the sort of non-reaction to The Mandalorian. It used to be like every episode was you had to stay up late, watch it, and get videos out, right? Like, you know, and I would watch the videos the next morning, whatever. I mean, we just covered on our normal live stream at Film Threat, but there just doesn't seem to be that. I mean, there are people like Ryan Cannell that just said, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I'm not.
Check out.
There's no reason to watch this show.
It doesn't seem like, because we kind of see where it's going now. It just doesn't. And there have been opportunities to win the audience back. Kenobi was the last opportunity. I was never, even though I thought Andor had a cool look, a cool concept, and an interesting, different take on the Star Wars universe, it was too little too late. And, while it was sort of an ode to Les Miserables, that just was sort of a weird combo. We're going to take Les Mis, which is this story Broadway play. It's been made into a movie a bunch of times. We're going to take that as the substance for Andor. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, the roots of Star Wars are in Western, frankly.
Yep.
More of a Western than anything else.
Samurai.
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Western
fantasy,
samurai.
science fiction.
Yeah. Throwing a little Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers. It's a blender. It's its own tone, its own thing.
And they should that's such a great thing to lean into. It's so 70s, right?
Yeah.
And they could have done so many things, but they've had it for over 10 years. It's done. The only choice they have is to it's one of two things, and I know what choice Disney's going to make. You move it forward. But the problem is when they totally overpaid for Star Wars. I'll say it right now. They totally overpaid for Star Wars, because Star Wars, outside of the hardcore Star Wars fans, Star Wars to everyone else is Luke, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, Darth Vader.
Yes.
That's Star Wars. And you have systematically destroyed all of those characters, and there aren't enough sub characters to move it forward. There were, if you didn't get rid of the expanded universe and you developed the expanded universe, but destroying Luke destroyed that. You don't come back from that. You'll appease some fans and you'll dodder along on fumes, but you're not going to be the multi-billion-dollar with merchandising and films franchise you once were, unless you reboot everything.
Well,
and you remake the original trilogy.
That's going to happen.
Which still ain't going to work, which is absolutely going to happen.
I disagree. I think they paid the right amount for it. I think it's worth that much. It was worth a ton of money when they purchased it. It's not now because they destroyed it. And I think you could, over time, get a new cast of characters in there and have kids enjoy and attach to those characters. But what they did is they came in and they disrespected the original characters, because that is Star Wars. So what you should have done is respected those characters, made a follow-up trilogy about those characters, sprinkle in some new ones, have the kids go, ooh, what's this Poe Dameron? He seems pretty cool. He's a side character. Ooh, who's
this? They blew it in the first movie.
You blew it, then you continue to blow it every single movie.
But you blew it in the first movie by killing Han Solo. I don't give a shit what Harrison Ford wants. I really don't care. You're an actor, dude. Yeah. You're not bigger than this character. And it's a wildly popular character who had and if you're gonna kill him, Make it a heroic
count.
sacrifice. Not make it count. Not like that. The way they did it was just so pathetic. And same
it's
with
clear
Luke.
they didn't strategize at all about thinking about how they were going to transition fans to new fans. They just said, we want new fans.
And we've had examples.
We're going to call
there's
it Star
two
Wars.
examples that are much smaller in scale, but are great examples of how you have older characters and you move them forward with newer characters. And that's Cobra Kai and Ash versus Evil Dead are two of the best examples of taking an older character, keeping him in line with what he was before, moving him forward. It doesn't destroy Ash. Ash is still fucking awesome by the the last scene.
So
like,
good.
Yeah, season 3 is like the weaker season, but it has the best last scene of a freaking show. Period. I put that up on Twitter about a month ago.
It's so sad when that got canceled because like Ash came back and Bruce was just as good as he ever was. It was perfect. It was funny. Perfect. It was gory.
And Cobra Kai is like this massive hit that was on the streaming charts forever. You know, despite being released all at once, it would be a bigger hit if it wasn't. But it's getting its final season. 6 seasons of that. Who knew? Was it 5 or 6? 6, right?
5.
Can't remember. You tell me, chat. But love Cobra Kai. And the normies are moving on. They're starting to move on to other things.
Right.
And genre is just run its course. You know, we knew this would happen. We knew this would happen. I mean, I'm always going to love it, but these are the videos I remember making my Rise of Skywalker and saying at the end, you know, when this thing is all in ashes and dust, I'm still going to be a fan of genre. When the movies, when after the corporate Hollywood has just pulverized everything I love into fucking nothing, I'm still going to be a fan.
Yeah.
You know,
quick weird side note. I saw Scream 6 last night.
How was it?
Dante and I went to see it. It opens on Friday. It's fun. It's a Scream movie. Okay. It's under 2 hours. It gets, like all the Scream movies, kind of ridiculous at the end when it's revealed who's behind everything.
It always is.
But big kills. I thought the kills were great. I like the whole like breaking the fourth wall they don't really break the fourth wall, but they sort of explain this is what happens in horror movies. Well, what they do in this film, there's a speech in the middle that was great, talking about franchises and how they go off the rails and die. And they mention Luke Skywalker in this rant.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they mention how franchises go bad and what happens in a franchise. And Luke Skywalker is mentioned.
That is depressing.
So that is Hollywood
depressing, man.
It's depressing, but like this is how it turns around. It has to be self-deprecating. It has to which Hollywood has never been. But you have to have movies clowning this stuff to where shame is brought back in, because there is no shame to Hollywood's game. As long as they're making money, they don't care how fucking woke they are. But now they're starting to be shamed because the one weakness they have is always their ego. And once they start feeling uncool, believe me, that Chuck Dixon said it best on the Real BBC 2 weeks ago. When the door closes on the MCU and Star Wars, it will close fast. It will be this like long, slow death goes into hospice, then boom, it's over. Because we see it like this is shit we saw in the comics over and over again. Comics love to just jump on trends and then burn them and just burn the audience out on like, hey, something's working. Let's make 50,000 issues, you know, like
multiverse, infighting.
Like it goes crazy. But like, then it just ends, you know, because people go, enough. It's no different from movies, you know?
Yeah, but in this part of the movie, they basically talk about how Hollywood treats things, and basically what they're experiencing is it's not a sequel, it's not a requel, it's not a reboot. They are in a franchise. Here's what happens to all franchises. And it's like this moment where the movie kind of acknowledges what happens when franchises like, you know, start to suck. And so it's by acknowledging it makes it kind of fun. I mean, all the Scream movies do that, right? Like they all sort of acknowledge here's what normally happens in a horror movie. So here's how you should approach the situation, because the killer is sort of seeing this through the eyes of a movie. So I enjoyed it. It's fun for a Scream movie.
It looked better than the last one.
Yeah, it is. The last one I did not like. The last one was like a retread. It was. I thought it was lame. This is much better, a lot of fun. The audience, and plus, you know, very creative deaths, and it's set in New York during Halloween.
That's
which was
cool.
So,
I've never been into them, but like if it's good,
I like the
go
first
go
one a
watch
lot.
it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
said John Wick 4 is the shit.
It's
gotta
So
see that too.
you got me excited for that.
I'll say this: it's
I'll
my
blame you if it
favorite
sucks.
film I've seen this year.
And
Favorite
Nick
film. Like
fucking
Nick
oh, is it
Cage.
Nick
It's like-
fucking Cage here?
well, it's Keanu Reeves, man. It is the best. I really want to talk about it more, but like it's just 3 hours and wall-to-wall action. It's
That's
just
great. That's great.
And I when I see a movie that's 3 hours, I always kind of cringe and go, "Oh my god, please no. We don't need more 3-hour movies or Marvel movies that are 2 hours and 20 minutes." It always starts to feel like even if I'm liking it, you've overstayed your welcome.
Yep.
Tight 2 hours is what Lucas and Spielberg.
Tight 2 hours unless you're adapting like epic fantasy properly, like Tolkien.
Right.
The greatest
Exactly.
trilogy ever made.
That's different.
Yeah,
That's
everybody always like they're complaining about how long the extended movies are.
Oh no, I
it's
love
so
them.
long. It's so long. The basic
Fine.
MCU
More for
movie
me.
now is that long. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
I'm
Exactly.
watching
So,
Ant-Man 3. It's freaking longer than extended Fellowship. All right.
Nick Cage tells all on Marvel, Tim Burton's emo Superman movie, and more. I don't need to be in the MCU. I'm Nick Cage.
I love that quote. Nick Cage.
He's going to be in Secret Wars, I promise you, as Ghost Rider. And good for Nick Cage. Yeah, well, I mean, it's falling apart for Marvel. Like it's utterly falling apart, and some of us recognize this. A long time ago said, if you go down this road, you're screwed. You are screwed. Nobody cares about these characters. So, what does he say about Tim Burton?
Let's see. Control F this. Tim Burton.
I said, this has to be Tim Burton. I called Tim Burton and said, would you do this? Tim didn't cast me. I cast Tim. And Tim said, yes. I loved what he did with Michael Keaton Batman, and I was a big fan. Yeah, Nick would have been a terrible Superman. Okay, let's just be real.
Although, did you
Yeah,
see that
from
documentary?
Kansas.
Did you
What
see
was
that
that, Chris?
documentary? Did you see the documentary John Schnepp made?
Yes, I did.
I thought it was the footage, the candid footage of Nick Cage kind of working out. Like it was kind of interesting. It was a different take. I think the movie would have bombed. It would have been terrible. I don't think he would have made a great Superman, but I like that he was trying to figure out like, well, who is Clark Kent, right? Like, so you'll see him like laughing by himself because he heard a joke from a comedian like a mile away, right? Like he has such heightened senses, and like how that would kind of mess him up. His powers would kind of make him kind of this weirdo, right? Like, but I mean, Tim Burton's lead characters always kind of are based on Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Always some version of a self-insert, whether it's the hair or just sort of the oddness. Even in Beetlejuice, I mean, Winona Ryder is Tim Burton, right? Like, so there you go.
Yeah, he's really good on stuff in his wheelhouse, like really fucking good.
Yeah.
But I like the Headless Horseman, the Sleepy Hollow. I like
Sleepy
that.
Hollow.
Yeah.
I do
Sleepy
like
Hollow
that
was
movie,
good.
yeah.
Christopher Walken was awesome in that. Scroll down. What does he say about the MCU aside from I'm Nick Cage? I mean, that's enough.
Let's see.
That's enough.
They probably led with MCU.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with that. But we'll go to super chats. We'll go to super chats. Oh, but real quick, somebody brought something. Yes, William Shatner.
Oh,
Captain.
William Shatner. Hang on.
here's what I'll say. I have one take on that, which is there would be no Star Trek without William Shatner.
Yeah.
And taking these lame, the newer Star Trek, the animated Star
one.
Trek, like
what?
As like a legacy, it's Kirk, Spock, McCoy. Period. That's it. That's why. And Shatner at the center. I'm sorry.
He should be larger than everybody else on that panel.
They are
he should
actively diminishing
in the
it.
center.
Precisely.
They put Burnham in the middle.
They are actively going out of. Someone should just redo that graphic.
I was just going to say, Legion of Memers, could you fix that real quick? I'll retweet it a lot.
Fix it.
Please fix that.
So obvious that there would be no Star Trek without Shatner.
I would do it, but I'm working on a video so I can ask my friends at the Legion. Hail the Legion of Memers.
Hail.
The internet would not be the same without you. Okay. We love you. And yes, please continue to show me getting violated by Az or whatever you guys do.
Whatever it is that
You should see
whatever
what I
is
enjoying.
however get your kicks. Yeah, this is okay. So this made the rounds. We talked about it yesterday. This was a promotional, and like this is Paramount. Like, for one,
It shows you that they do not have any intention on turning around.
yeah, like we need
This
to
is
embarrass.
Paramount.
You need to continue to embarrass them, but like both things can happen at once. We don't need to be so binary about. Like you be however you want, okay? But when I see Picard season 3 and I know what I know going on behind it, then I know that Kurtzman wasn't involved at all, wasn't on set, wasn't there. None of the Kurtzman people who were involved in the previous, outside of some crew, were there in the writer's room, directing any of that stuff. It was, Terry and I don't know if maybe they did a episode of Picard, but we had Terry Metalis in charge with his 12 Monkeys people, bringing back a very familiar member from the 12 Monkeys cast, Todd Stashwick, who is like the best new Star Trek character in over a decade, well over a decade, easily. Making fun Star Trek doesn't make me forget Kurtzman Trek, doesn't make me endorse Kurtzman Trek. It's just being honest. I'm seeing a good show that I enjoy. That's all. And that comes first and foremost here, no matter what. No matter what. If I'm at a point where I feel like I have to craft a review based on a narrative, then I'm done. I'm done. Like that's just not how it works. Yeah. So that's the way I'm gonna be from here on out. Narratives be damned. So and it like I said, it doesn't save Star Trek. Nobody's ever said that. Not that I've heard. It could if anybody had a fucking brain at Paramount Plus. But like this is a company,
But
by the
I
way,
think
if
we
you like
have evidence to the contrary.
if you like, I like the Sheridan stuff, that's supporting Paramount Plus too. So they can make good stuff that's even like semi-based at times, like Tulsa King is. If you watch it and read between the lines on a lot of stuff, it's super based at times, not all the time, but yeah, it just goes to show that these executives don't fucking watch this shit. And it's the middle management, it's the activists in there that have been fucking everything up. And believe me, they fucked up Star Trek, like beyond fucked up by choosing sides politically, going out and doing freaking live streams supporting political candidates, the entire cast as Star Trek. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that alienates fans, and that's why you don't have a lot of people watching the show. I don't know how many people are watching Picard season 3. I can't imagine if they had started Picard like this, it would be a lot more people, but it's not because of previous Star Trek. But then they come out, Paramount, and this is clearly a decision from Kurtzman. Kurtzman don't like William Shatner for some reason. Don't know why. The people at who are the powers that be at Star Trek right now don't like William Shatner. By the way, I'll give you a little hint for Picard season 3. There is a little Easter egg. That is some massive love for Kirk. If you can catch it. All right. I'll just leave that. You got to look for it, but it's there. Well, they make sure you see it. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong. No, I don't want to say too much. After you see it, I'll tell you. But there you go. Thanks, babe. There you go. It's great. That is great. But they take, their first step forward everywhere, anytime with Star Trek, and then they post that up there and just immediately piss everybody off.
Geniuses.
Like everybody was calling this shit out. Like even the Trek, TrekNews.net was calling it out, It's like, and then William Shatner's like, "Are you surprised?"
Yeah, not surprised at all.
Chris, when I saw him in Austin, he said to the guy asking questions, he's like, "You can ask me whatever you want. If I don't want to answer, I just won't answer." So the guy asked the question, hey, did anybody from Jar Jar Abrams' Star Trek movies come and talk to you about the role or anything? And he's all, I'm not going to answer that question.
Ooh. Wow.
So the answer is no. And I remember he was hot that he wasn't. They were supposed to have him in it, and then he wanted to be in it, and then they wouldn't let him do it.
Well, there
was
a scene. The scene was supposed to be Spock looking at some hologram video, wishing him a happy birthday or something from Kirk at the end. Look this up. I mean,
yeah.
J.J. Abrams talked about it. There was a scene that was written, not shot, which was supposed to have Kirk in a scene with Spock, but like, as a like faded image, right? Like a,
Mm-hmm.
So
we all hated what happened to Kirk in Generations.
Oh, that was such a lame death.
Damn bridge.
So we all hated what happened in that movie.
Yeah,
we did. But keep an eye out for that Easter egg. That Easter egg.
Have I seen it yet? I've only seen the first 3.
You have not seen it yet.
Okay, good.
It
There you
is.
go.
Wait, let me think. 6th or 7th episode. 6th or 7th episode. Because things get ramped up. We're just getting started with that show on episode. You're on episode 3. So
yeah.
The new one's out tomorrow. So you're just getting started. Stuff really starts going down 4 and 5.
I want to binge it. Because the problem is every episode ends with I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's gotta get you engaged.
But you're engaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
and you're engaged because a creator listened. I know it's gonna make a lot of people mad on the other side, but it was a creator who listened. And is trying to thread the needle, man. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Probably the last good Star Trek you're ever gonna get.
Yeah.
Didn't think we'd get that. It was on one of the Trek sites. I can't find the article now, but I definitely remember reading it. That they're reassessing all of Star Trek right now. Like Paramount's reassessing everything because they're out of money. So that's why there's a contract negotiation going on with Kevin Costner and the Sheridan verse, because they're saying he wants to reduce his shoot time, but I'm sure he wants some more money because it's a very popular show. It's pretty normal for an actor to like say, maybe I'm done. Maybe I'll just go off and direct a movie or something. It's contract negotiations. And then they're reassessing Star Trek. They delayed Star Trek Discovery. Why? Because they want to mop it up. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, it's going to probably get a season 2, and then the bean counters will look, and it went on way too long. The shit doesn't make any money for Paramount Plus, because making money for Paramount Plus would be getting subscribers. Now, if they license it, but who's going to fucking buy Star Trek Discovery?
Yeah.
Why?
Pluto.
It's in the tank right now.
It's in the tank.
You should buy
it. And then put it in a vault for the rest of time.
Throw it away.
Yep. I would do that. But that's a disgrace what they did to William Shatner. All right. Let's read some soups. It's a disgrace. And yes, John Bernthal's coming back for the Punisher, and I'm not excited at all. Just like I'm not excited for Daredevil. By the way, the actress,
they're gonna cuck him.
Karen Wall is her last name. She's from she's really hot. She was from True Blood. She played Karen Page, not Karen. It's not her first name.
Deborah
Wall. And then the guy who played Foggy, who were perfect.
They're gone.
They're gone. They're gone. And then the show's dead. Like they were perfect for the show. They were the personality of the show. They were the thread that kept us interested in Matt Murdock. They were brilliantly cast, and they're going to get recast, Chris. We're going to get a diverse Foggy and
you think they'll do that? You think they'll actually recast them? I figured that they were just going to not mention them at all and just leave them out.
You can leave out Karen Page. I mean, bringing her in was interesting and it was good. And she definitely has an arc.
I liked her arc, and then her arc ended, and then it kind of kept going.
Doesn't end so well in the book. Sorry, spoilers. But Foggy's always there. He's got to be there. You can't have Matt without Foggy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The Wolf Hawk for $19.99. Hey, Chris. Hey, Gary. Chris. X-Ray Goo. And whoever else is implicated in your debauchery. I'm loving Picard season 3 on your recommendation. Happy we are getting real stories from the quote unquote new Trek. Finally, love you all, Lee. Love you right back. Glad you're enjoying it. You're allowed to enjoy things. You're allowed to enjoy things. But again, if you're just out, I don't blame you. I'm not going to sit there and try to talk you into it. You know, like if you've like, no, I don't feel like it. I get you. I'm there with some franchises. I'm right there with you with some franchises like Star Wars. I can be bothered with Star Wars. I think the only difference is like Star Trek actually moved this. Like the one thing I had wanted forever was for them to move the damn story forward. Since Enterprise, I was like, a fucking prequel. God damn it. I know where prequels end up. Bradley Burnett has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Thank you, Bradley. Hey, Chris, do you ever watch that Sheridan stuff, or is that too like basic
I haven't.
normie for you?
No, I haven't, but everyone raves about it. I got to get on that train. You know,
1923 is pretty good. 1883 is pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean,
I think I'm going to watch it in the order that you're watching it.
Historically accurate, okay, because it's got like some really nice Comanches, you know, like, and they're nice and they're good characters.
Some may have been nice.
Wow, they got along really well back then. I don't recall that happening, but okay.
When they could have, like, I guess they're stuck in a certain location, right? They can't
they
change the location, so they couldn't do like
and
a tribe that was a nice tribe, because there were like different tribes.
But there's a thing happens with the Lakota later. But I thought it was good. It's got the country music singer. I'm blanking on his name now. He's really good at it. He's a good actor. And he's Faith Hill's husband.
I don't know country music.
Mr. Faith Hill. How's that for a cuck? But she's in it too. And she's they're all pretty good. And the narration is great. But old grizzly cranky Harrison Ford is pretty good in 1923. Kind of fits.
I mean, he started off in westerns. He's pretty good in westerns, you know.
Frisco Kid, baby. You ever see the Frisco Kid?
Frisco Kid.
Oh,
it's a good movie.
God, back in the day.
Back in the day. The Grizzly has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. I'm fucking up the recording of this, by the way. I hope you're recording this, Quarter Black.
What did you do?
I mean, Perry will be able to work for our. I try to record the episode on my computer, but like this is like the last day I'm using the old computer because the Meta PCs is getting fired up.
Finally,
it's like a month and a half
later.
I have been busy. I got to rewire the office, and I know Razorfist said nerds don't worry about wiring, but I do, because I will trip over that shit. I will trip over that stuff.
Called cable management.
Cable management.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're much better than I am, Garrett. I'm just gonna duct tape that shit together and just be one line of cables. Yeah, it's fine.
Can I at least give you some zip ties, like the Velcro?
Yeah, get the Velcro.
I'll do that too. I'll do that too. I still have the zip ties from last time, Garrett. The Grizzly for $20. Universal and Nintendo are the Chicxulub meteor that will wipe out the Disney dinosaur. Did you see the footage of the recently opened Mario Land and Universal Hollywood? Wait till Nintendo Land Florida opens up. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, and I could care less about Nintendo, but that Super Mario movie is probably going to do pretty good.
Yeah,
it's probably going to do pretty good. I hope it makes $999 million. And then Jeremy has to eat a pineapple pizza, but it still does really well.
I think if that's the case, they should both eat pineapple on pizza. I think that's the only fair thing to do.
We'll see if it makes $1 billion. I don't know. I have no concept of like how popular that was. It's not anything. I'm OG. I played Donkey Kong. Okay, I was good at it. I got ColecoVision. I was like the one home system that had Donkey Kong, right? So at the time, this is
OG Mario.
OG Mario.
That's right. Before he was Mario.
Anakbamon in 3 parts for $30. Part 1. Hey, Gary, have you seen RRR yet? No. If not, why not?
Why not?
It's called having 3 hours of time to just sit there and do nothing. And then, like, that's in between watching Doctor Who, Star Trek, shitty Marvel movies that I'm making videos on, watching tons of YouTube. Because watching, you know what? I'll give you a little inside secret for content creation. You want to stay in tune with YouTube? Watch a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Watch a lot of it. And I don't mean like Mr. Beast. I don't give a shit. It's like, good for him. Loved his video about saving the blind people and stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was really nice. But no, I watch exclusively the people I subscribe to. And it's not like people with millions of subs. And I find that keeps me way more in tune with what's going on than watching a Mr. Beast or some other multi-million sub channel.
I feel like a lot of those are just kind of like the surface level information, like really.
I look for authenticity
real way
too.
Is exactly
not
like
saying
that.
Mr. like nothing against Mr. Beast. Just pointing out because he's the big dog, you know. Seems like a really cool dude, and like I loved that video with the curing the blindness thing.
I can't believe. I mean, I can believe that he got backlash, but it's so stupid.
It's just how retarded the internet can be.
He's helping people.
Yeah.
How is that messed up?
Fucking help. Like none of those people who are criticizing him combined could equal one of his videos where he's charitable. Like none of those fucking people are charitable.
And you know, people consent to doing these procedures, right? So they wanted this.
Yeah.
It's not like he
was
forced
like
it
holding
on
them
them.
down, like keep your eyes.
Don't need pussy.
We hear the same shit when we raise money for charity. It's
You can't
just
miss
to
people.
deflect how toxic you are. Some bullshit. It's like, okay.
Believe whatever you want to believe.
Believe whatever you want. So Chris Gore is right about that movie. It's action-packed, filled with testosterone, and the most pro 2A movie you've ever seen. Sheridan versus pretty pro 2A. They are constantly talking about, do you have a gun? You need a gun. You have the right to self-protection. Da-da-da-da. It's very 2A. Even the musical numbers are macho. It's the most fun I've had in years. Like I said, Chris Gore is right about the movie. In fact, Chris Gore is right about every movie. No, he's not.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
He's always right all the time. If you haven't done it already, subscribe to Film Threat. That way you can always have a perfect film review. Chris is the man. Chris is the man.
Chris is the man.
I agree. Subscribe to Film Threat.
We'll agree to disagree on She-Hulk a little bit, but or a lot.
I only was the first few episodes. I thought, oh, they have an imperfect woman, and then it just fell to shit. So, which was refreshing. And then there's no character arc for that. I mean, Tony Stark, when they introduced Tony Stark, is not a perfect man. He has flaws.
Very flawed.
He grew over the course of several movies. And they don't know how to do that with female characters.
No,
they
they
really
were
not.
They were hit with a feminism stick.
They refuse to do that. They know how to do it. They know how to do it, but then their notes come in from the intersectional feminist sensitivity reader of their fucking scripts and says, no, we can't have a woman being mentored by a man. We can't have a woman receiving power from a man, which like totally disrupts what She-Hulk is, which She-Hulk could be Marvel's Wonder Woman. Like that popular, not like personality wise, but I mean that popular. She-Hulk could be that, even though she's a derivative character. She's got a distinctly different personality than Bruce, right? A different look. And plus she's been around, she's established, she's paid her dues. She's been in the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Dan Slott got a hold of her, kind of fucked her up, and then they fucked her up some more. But you could still like, she's a popular character, completely accepted within any from any Marvel fan. No Marvel fan's gonna go, I fucking hate She-Hulk. Nobody says that.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with
she took the
with Wasp.
Thing's place. She took the Thing's place in Fantastic Four, and nobody bitched. Well, they did a little bit at first, but then they got over it. You know. Part 3, Chris. There, Chris. I said everything you told me to say. Now, do what you promised. Give me back my son. He's only 12 years old, and you buried him alive.
Oh my God!
Gary. Watch RRR. He'll bury your son alive too.
My God.
He's gonna have
with a TV
big
so we
hole.
can watch RRR.
Depends on which son. Yeah. Good luck with that. As is tranny whore for $20. Oh God.
My God.
That's gonna get us demonetized.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm not judging, you know.
Yeah.
World's oldest profession. I mean, do what you gotta do. We got a song for that though.
Be you.
Even though Az is not here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
From Az's
Einhorn is a man.
manual transmission slice for $20. Disney thought they could pander to women with misandry. What they forgot is that most women don't hate men. Most don't like sexism, whether it's directed at themselves or men. And you are correct. You are absolutely correct. Good applause. Bradley Burnett for $20. I saw the Deborah Ann Wall and Eldon Henson, that's what it is, will not be in Daredevil Born Again, but John Bernthal will be. Given the MCU, am I too crazy to think that the character will be called Punish Her? They'll probably make Frank trans and called Frankie. Yes.
I'm not surprised by anything.
Okay,
anymore.
so one of the things that makes the MCU is if you have a white male lead, you need that white male lead to be in almost every scene accompanied by a female. You will also get the most identity politics injected into the established character who is pretty much a white male lead. There was one exception, is Black Panther. His movie, he was surrounded by 2 women at all times. He was accompanied by 2 women at almost all times. It's crazy because that's one thing I like in making my video. I'm like, how much were they accompanied by women? And Shang-Chi, it's almost the entire movie. Doctor Strange, it's almost the entire movie. Thor, it's almost the entire movie. It's like, wow, they really we can't have a white male on his own.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And sometimes it's 2. And the through line of the story. So it breaks the structure of the story because you have your main character isn't technically the main character. Your main character is what your through line goes through, right? But it's not when you are just a mentor protector of the girl's the key to everything. And then the weirdest one is Doctor Strange that has your antagonist is the star of the show, is the star of the damn show.
Really, yeah.
And it's a sequel to her story.
And that antagonist is defeated by the second main character, Chavez.
Yep. So diminishing returns.
Oh, he lays on the floor dead.
It made a bunch of money. It had a almost 70% drop in its second weekend, and it made most of the money based on Spider-Man No Way Home, which came months before. Now we got Ant-Man, which does the same fucking thing.
Followed around.
Does the same thing. It's a sequel to a Disney Plus show that ignores the main character, for fuck's sake. So that's the MCU. I'm glad it was absolutely confirmed by Marvel today. I don't need a royalties check. I don't. What I need you to do, though, no, I don't need you to do this. But if you want to support independent creators, it looks like Flagrant Triggers will be bringing back the Make Marvel Mail Again shirt.
The return.
Just for you.
Did it
return.
Did it sell well? I want to know how popular that shirt is.
We talked about it yesterday. So he's going to put it back up.
Yeah, it did.
Wow. What about
well.
There was one that you came up with on another stream. Someone else came up. Maybe it was on FNT. I don't remember. But it was Make DC Straight Again.
Yeah.
Why?
Get that
It's
going.
it's in production. I'm
What?
making the.
Oh no!
Oh
God, that was
that is gonna ruffle some feathers.
Oh boy.
I'm making a shirt for that. We'll see what it looks like,
Uh-oh.
guys.
That's gonna really make him upset.
I'd say get ready to start fights, but they have limp wrists, so it's kind of.
I don't
have
even
to worry
bother
about it.
fighting these people.
gotta
That's
just
the
go like this.
point.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
As Gary says, it's a fart in the wind.
Yes.
Yeah. I just find whenever I've gotten in conflicts online with that, when I tweeted that out, right, the make Marvel mail again, just wait a couple days. They'll be mad about something else.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Twitter's not a real place.
That's what Ron
everything's
DeSantis
silly
tried
there.
to tell Bob Chapek. It's like, this will be over in 48 hours. Don't get involved. And he did. Well, WonderCon's coming up, right? Isn't WonderCon coming up?
Oh yeah, by the
Somebody
way,
mentioned it at the
WonderCon, run by the same people who run San Diego Comic-Con. I have been doing conventions and panels at conventions since like the early 90s at San Diego Comic-Con and at WonderCon. I usually pitch them like, 2 or 3 panels and like 2 will get picked or maybe 1 will get picked. This is the very first year they did not select a panel from me. I pitched them 3 panels. Kind of one panel that I always do called Future Indies You Must See, where we talk about independent films and we show movie trailers and whatnot. This is the first year in decades, more than 3 decades, I have not had a panel selected. I was not informed. I had to email them and say, hey, normally by now I would receive a thing saying, hey, your panel's been approved, blah, blah, blah. And then I get like, I get badges for the Film Threat crew and other people who are in the pop culture space. Well, guess what? 0, nada. They decided to tell me, oh, yeah, sorry, we had so many pitches. We just didn't have room for it. If somebody drops out, we'll let you know. I think that's very interesting and very telling.
I think it's extremely telling.
A friend of mine named Bill Waters, you may or may not know him, is a film critic. He does a film critics panel, and he had the same thing. He has 1 panel he's doing, and normally he did a bunch of them. I think there's a changing of the guard. I think maybe
Bill Waters. Where does he live?
He's in the Bay Area.
He shopped at my store.
Yeah,
Bill
super
Waters
nice
shopped
guy.
at my store. Yeah,
really nice guy, and does a great panel. But
I know who you're talking about.
Be interesting to see
as a cosplaying
what
wife,
have.
girlfriend, wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yep.
Marianne Butler. So
yes.
Yeah, I may for the first time just not go. It's kind of too late to apply to get credentials. I'd have to buy a badge, or if anybody is attending WonderCon has a way to get me a badge, maybe you're a dealer at WonderCon, and you get extra badges for your booth. I'll come work your booth. I'll work. I don't want it for free. I will work.
You didn't get pressed? I got press for WonderCon.
I didn't try to get credentials because I always get a panel. I always get it. And look, I don't want to act like I'm some entitled asshole. But I just was like assumed I would always do a panel because I try to really put something together that's different and a little counter programming and I really push independent film, right? And then I'll talk about other topics, Star Wars or Marvel stuff. I think that stuff's played out. So I didn't pitch anything like that. But
I think it's guilt by association, buddy. And some of the videos you put out on Film Threat and other places that have ruffled some fucking feathers. I think that's it. That's the first thing that hits my mind.
Do they have a list of what panels they have right now?
All I can
how
say
many
is
woke panels are
they
there?
have.
That's what I used to do at a live stream, and I will do it again.
Yeah,
of all
those
the
are
woke
always good.
panels from WonderCon, New York Comic Con, and San Diego Comic Con, because there is. Hey, Garrett, remember when we went to the Antifa panel at New York Comic Con? Yeah, I remember.
That was horrific.
Oh, it's fucking terrible.
Horrific.
It was like 20 minutes of introductions and getting your personal pronouns right on this shit.
Yeah,
it was me, Quarterblack, and John F. Trent from from Bounding there.
And they were like, white man bad, white man bad, white man bad, white. And I was like,
God.
And it was all white people.
It was
white
all
yeah.
white people. It was all. There was one BLM member
and a very large,
yes.
rotund black woman.
Mhm.
Well, the one thing I'm, look, I have a really good relationship with LA Comic-Con. I mean, I introduced you to the woman who runs it. She's
awesome.
She's very egalitarian. She wants all voices to be represented, but I feel there has to be someone. I'm just assuming someone within that organization that probably said, "Not this guy." So I will, unless I find a way for someone to get me into WonderCon, I will not be attending.
I'll say it for you. This is fucking Chris Gore. This is nerd royalty. You're saying no to him like for the first time ever? Comic-Con?
It's weird, but I don't
First
know.
page,
Well,
diversity
by the way,
in film, TV, games, comics, how you can help. Second, publishing works of queer triumph in a heteronormative society. So,
these are some of the panels.
Go.
Yeah, those are the panels that bumped your panel, and there'll be 3 fucking people in these panels.
Yep.
Yeah. And you and I met.
By the way, WonderCon should have never left the Bay Area. It was when it was at San Francisco downtown at Moscone Center. It was getting as big as Comic-Con. It was getting fucking huge, and they pulled it out. No fucking reason.
Yeah, now it's kind of gentrified. I mean, it's in Anaheim near Disney, right? So I don't know. Look, you can reach me. Go to filmthreat.com/contact. If there's anyone out there who has a WonderCon Connect, or you know what, I'll do your panel. If you're someone who's doing a panel, I'll be on your panel.
I think Geeks and Gamers are doing a panel.
No, they're doing it at MegaCon. Not
MegaCon.
Yeah, different.
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
But, no,
you can skip what we'll go terrorize. Attend San Diego Comic-Con together.
All right.
Again. Good.
I mean,
I'll actually make it this time. Hopefully, I won't get COVID.
Yeah.
That sucked.
But, I'm a little bummed about it, but not surprised. That's the direction that everything's going. I guarantee there's someone in that department that just said, this guy's a problem. And look, by the way, I had a panel that was, it was the very first time in their history they tried to cancel me. A bunch of people. I did this panel called Fanfic Theater, where we take fanfic supposedly that we found on the internet and have comedians and actors perform it. Adrian Curry was on that panel, by the way.
Oh, is she off
great.
Twitter? Where'd she go?
No, I love Adrian. She's
I haven't seen her tweets lately. Did she just?
That's true. Yeah, I haven't seen those either.
She's mostly on Instagram, is where I find her.
Okay.
Twitter, she's not. Twitter's not fun. But no, that panel got canceled. It was like the first time in history, and there's a story in the Hollywood Reporter about it. I'll try to find it. It was like 2015, maybe. I'll find the story.
Why did it get canceled?
Because I found it. But it was in the Hollywood. It was in the Hollywood Reporter. Did a story about it. I don't know who some of these. I don't know what these outlets are. You can find better. Yeah, it's people said it was insulting. The point is that we wrote the fanfic. It was sort of a parody of fanfic, and it was fun. Adrian Curry was on the panel. My friend Yoshi Obayashi, who's a comedian, was on the panel. We would bring up members of the audience. It was a standing room only panel. I did it at Dragon Con for years. And we would just you pick people from the audience. There's 5 or 6 parts. You read it aloud to the audience. It's very uncomfortable. It's sexual, but not pornographic.
It's
right?
fanfic.
So it's fanfic. So it's beneath the surface. We did Star Trek: The Next Generation. I did one called Jurassic Pratt starring Chris Pratt. And it's 3 or 4 pages, and it's supposed to be bad. Well, people who are fanfic writers on, I think it was on Tumblr, found it. They found the description. They were outraged. And it was 2015.
Oh, we need to bring that back.
Bring
it back, baby. Let's do it at LA Comic-Con. Come on. Bring it back.
Huge. It was a huge, people thought it was funny. It was people having fun with fandom. It was, I just put a link to, but it was in the Hollywood Reporter. I don't know why I can't find it.
It's all right. Listen, we'll bring it back, dude. LA Comic-Con.
Needs to
Let's
come
do
back.
it.
Let's do it. We'll do it at LA Comic-Con. But
Yeah.
it is a little sad for me because I see the direction that these things are going. And like the thing is this, to be clear, I have no problem with any of those panels that you just read off, Garrett. I think that they should.
They have their own place.
Yeah, that's fine as long as the other ones exist. I think
That's
that'd be
exactly.
that's not against free speech. You can go. You could have your panel to two people talking about heteronormative comics to the same fucking two people. That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I want.
But like we had a
just have to
panel.
have the balance.
You had a panel at LA Comic-Con that I attended with that was packed.
Standing room only again for
Standing
that.
room only.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was diverse, but not by design. It was just diverse because, hey, here are the YouTube channels that I really like and people I like, and let's all talk about something and let's talk honestly about it instead of, I think, this sort of BS agendized conversations that are so like manufactured. It's like it's almost like the panel that you attended, Gary, that Antifa one. It's like they're reading a press release. That's what it feels like.
Yep.
I've been to those panels and it sounds like they're reading a statement. Like they want this on the record, right? To show like how they feel about a topic. And it's ridiculous. So it's fine. If anybody can hook me up at WonderCon, fine. You know what? I might actually not go. I might just go and hang out in the hotel bar because it's usually the only time I see certain people I really like.
Honestly, unless you're shopping for something and like the prices suck now in all the cons.
Yeah,
like you have to go to the really the ones at a Masonic Center or an Elks Lodge or something like that.
Yeah,
that's where you find
small.
the deals now.
Oh, I know where I'm taking you, Gary. Next time you're in town, we're going to Frankensons.
Frankensons. I'll go to Frankensons with you. I
dude.
fucking love Frankensons, man.
So great. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah.
I'm sorry, Chris.
Good,
And
man. It's fine.
we'll see what happens for San Diego.
Yeah,
I got it carved out to go down
great.
there so I can see my mom and we can hang out. We don't have to go in the fucking con,
cool.
but I'm fine with hanging out outside. But we've got press passes now because we're press.
I should apply for press passes then.
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
Not, like, no, well, they shot me the portal. Like once you sign up for press passes, you're signed up.
You get them. Yeah.
You just say yes. They shot me the thing for WonderCon. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking WonderCon.
Yeah.
Wrath's Reign for $20. Hello, my favorite YouTubers. Hello. How are you doing today? Nerdrotics, Quarter Black Garrett, Chris Gore, and Exode. Go. That's never gonna get old.
I need to have like a bowl of fortune cookies or something.
Love you guys and love all the content you put out. As my greatest achievement on the soundboard. It really is. The Grizzly in 2 parts. Hail Grizzly. What's up, brother? My take is that when Marvel dies, it takes the whole movie theater and movie production industry with it. It might. If it wasn't
They
for
put a
fucking
lot of eggs
Avatar,
in that basket.
if it wasn't for Avatar right now, it would be that situation. There'll be like Broadway plays from now on in either one theater, small towns, or New York and LA. That I agree with. I think you're going to have movies that are going to be in large urban centers.
Yeah,
dude, they just knocked down 2 theaters here in San Antonio, which is bustling, dude. This is a bustling town. There's a lot going on here. They're building fucking freeways. They're building malls. They're building all kinds of shit. Building
which
buildings.
is crazy.
Yeah,
malls.
Dude, I
movie
was at a
theaters
mall.
were a dying breed anyways. It was on its way out, and then COVID hit, and it's made it even worse for movie theaters. So.
I got a nice ass movie theater, and I hope it stays open forever. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like
that's
it.
all you really need. You have one central movie theater to go to, and they play old movies or something, and it's an event. That's what they've got to go to. They got to
It's a movie theater. It's what it's supposed to be. It's a movie theater, half price books, flying saucer.
Perfect.
I can get my Royale with cheese. I can go like look at some books, and some vinyl, and then I can go see a movie. That's what I want to do. My take is that when Marvel dies, it takes the whole movie theater and movie production industry with it. They'll be like Broadway plays from now on in either one small theater towns or New York or LA. I think that is when the film industry realizes when the film industry realizes that games took over their spot, which is true, decades ago, and now the movies are like radio, newspapers, and books. The producers that always snubbed their noses at gaming will try to flood in from films. That's already happening. That's already happening. You're having executives move off from Hollywood and starting their own, like former producers are starting their own gaming companies. I
mean, real
with
cinema
one.
is in gaming now. You play a game like God of War, like that game hooks you right in the beginning with character. The writing is really good, and then you get to play a game in between the cutscenes, and the cutscenes are freaking phenomenal. So that's where cinema is now. Kind of sad because I love cinema.
I do too. WonderCon panel canceled after Twitter outrage. There it is.
Yeah,
here, let's put this up.
I got it.
You got it.
A lot of stories. The Hollywood Reporter wrote about it. So what we did I remember what happened that year. It was crazy. So it was like, it was basically 100 people. I counted, it was 100 people on Twitter that put me on blast and were screaming. And then I'm arguing and I'm like, wait a sec. These are a bunch of young girls who aren't even attending WonderCon.
Dude,
they're not attending.
This is 2015. This is when all the shit started. What fucking Obama. And remember the teacher at the Ivy League school who's getting screamed at by his student? That video went viral. And then and then the girl who was screaming at the white kid for having dreads at San Francisco State. That happened like a couple months later. Yeah, saying that he was appropriating her culture when he wasn't like a Rastafari. He just had dreads. It's like, by the way, Vikings had dreads.
Yeah, Vikings
just to point out. Yeah, all that PC shit, all the fucking Halloween costume shit was getting like it had always been there a little bit, but it started getting like really fucking out of control.
Right.
Under the Obama regime.
But the truth is this was about 100 young girls who weren't attending the con anyways, who were triggered by the description of the panel, which was effectively a comedy show. And we were somewhat disingenuous in the sense that we say that we found this fanfic online, which wasn't true. We actually wrote it. So it was written by the people who were on the panel. But we wanted to make it fun because we had like this username, we found this, it was all made up. So it was fake, right? And at the time I was in an improv comedy group called Comic Book Live. Well, by the way, so we still did a panel at the same time, but a woman from that showed up.
Comic Book Live. I know Comic Book Live.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
In that comic book. It was we performed at IO West in Hollywood, and we would put, like adult film actresses to be on it. Mika Tan, Nikki Hunter, among others, like because there were big comic book nerds.
Mika Tan.
So, yes, you can find the Facebook group where you'll see the photos of me as Namor. In any case, so it was just a fun thing. Look, we're just trying to nerd stuff. We're gonna have fun together. It's all in good fun. So what ended up is we ended up doing a panel, but it was about creativity, pursuing your passions and creativity. And the woman who was the lead person who came after me, which she looked exactly how you think she would look. I can find it. I can find a photo of her. She was there live tweeting the event, and Adrian Curry went off on her. So it was me, an ex-girlfriend of mine who was a comedian at the time. Adrian Curry, John Schnepp was on that panel, and John Schnepp for fun was like, I'm going to be creative because everyone was pissed at the panel that these people on Twitter shut down something that everyone wanted to see. It was a small group of people. One person showed up and she was live tweeting. We saw her tweets during the thing. And John Schnepp was so pissed off. He said, you know what? I'll show you how to be creative. I'm going to write some fanfic right now. What are your suggestions? So the audience suggested some keywords. He wrote a piece of fanfic based on the keywords. Yep. And then we read it at the end of the panel. It was just show like, hey, we're all here having fun. Yeah. No one's trying to hurt you. And I feel we've gotten to this point.
Dude, and that's what ruined fandom.
Yeah,
like absolutely. It was that was the seed that was planted because back, 3 years prior in 2012, fucking anything went, dude. There was a panel by John Barrowman called Anything Goes with John Barrowman, and everything did go in that panel.
Well, I love John Barrowman. I think he's awesome. I worked with him a couple times on Attack of the Show. One of the sweetest, nicest guys you will ever meet.
Yep.
Look, I know he got in some trouble for being a little too handsy or whatever, but I don't know. I will still defend him, but look, this is it blew up, and this is not the first. This is why
I write fanfic. I pour my heart and soul into it. Wait. Oh, I got to get my terrible voice in there.
I write fanfic. I pour my heart and soul into it. Seeing it mocked would crush me.
Well, we weren't mocking specific people. We were just having fun with it. And
no, I want to mock not specific people, but fanfic. I want to bring this back. I think.
Look, it was during Dragon Con. I would get like whatever celebrity guests were there. I would bring them on, and it was great. It was so fun. It was one of the best panels. So I have sort of some regular panels I would do. Well, I stopped pitching it, right? Because it's like these people shut it down. And look, here's the same people that will do a panel on feminism or, you know, queer comics. Fine, do those panels. I have no problem with it. What I have a problem with is people shutting stuff down because they don't like it.
Yeah.
F
like
you.
Nobody has.
Done
Okay.
with that shit.
Fanfic is bad, but it occasionally, on a very, very rare occasion, maybe a writer can come out of it. Nobody said you can't have fanfic, but we make fun of everything. Everything.
That's the
because
rule.
fanfic is terrible. It's pretty terrible. And you know what's funny? What is hilarious is it has invaded actual writing in Hollywood. What we're getting, Rings of Power, is fucking fanfic. MCU is now fanfic. Most of Disney fucking like the Let's Get High Republic is fanfic. It is wish fulfillment, Mary Sue bullshit, and it has completely killed writing.
So the actual gatekeepers of nerddom, these cons, the personalities that made content back then, they chose fan fiction over actual fans.
Yep.
So just like this, 100 people out there said, you got to take this down because they're making fun of my fanfic and blah, blah. So then they chose them over actual fans of this stuff. And then these people don't buy your product.
It was the only time they mentioned, the only time in Comic-Con history that a panel has been canceled due to outrage. And the outrage was, technically speaking, I was like, well, it's like 100 people. And it was from someone took the description of the panel that was on the WonderCon website, posted it on Tumblr in a fanfic group, and then they went off. They didn't understand that it was a comedy show. And it was the point was to read the fanfic aloud and have comedians interpret it. And it was audience participation.
That would
because
require
it was so fun. It was
understanding nuance and subtlety.
Yes.
Which maybe they don't, you know what I'm saying? But
you think these quote unquote writers would know what that is, but I guess not. They're fanfic.
Yeah, so people who didn't attend Comic-Con ruined a really popular panel at WonderCon.
Well, we'll do it at LA Comic-Con. I'm gonna bring it back and
bring it back.
I'll get some, you know, celebrities to be on it. I'll dig up some of the old fanfic. But we had a criteria for it. It had to be, you know, nuanced. It was subtle, but not overtly pornographic, because most fanfic is overtly pornographic. It's Harry and Ron.
It's fetishism. That's how it started.
Yes.
That's not true. I don't want to help perpetuate that lie. People say fanfic started with the slash fiction between Kirk and Spock, which there's been fan fiction forever. Back in the H.P. Lovecraft days, back in the early, there's been fan fiction forever. So that's total bullshit. But that was some fact fiction. And it was just some lady with a weird fetish who wanted to see Kirk and Spock hook up.
Dude,
I remember when I first heard about fan fiction, I was like, this sounds cool. Like people writing stories within Star Wars. World of Star Wars.
Let's get it.
And then I read some. I was like,
I did an article on fanfic in Film Threat back in the 80s, the late 80s. That's how prominent it was, because I would go to conventions. I go to a lot of conventions. What the hell is this? The scary thing were all the drawings. There were a lot of explicit drawings.
Yeah.
I published some of the drawings that I could get away with to do the story, but like that's how long this stuff has been around.
It's nerd girl porn. That's all it is.
It is. Yes, you're right.
It's nerd girl porn. Angry, which fine, but it's a fetish. It's a kink, like being a furry. You know, angry goat for $20. Hail all. Have any of you heard of the movie or seen the trailer for Sisu?
Oh, I've heard of this. It's great. It's supposed to be great. I'm going to see it soon.
It's like
Yes.
a Finnish
Oh.
John Wick about a Finnish one-man army fighting Yazis at the end of World War II only trailer I've seen in ages. I've got excited for. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it looks
Yes.
awesome.
Nate Parrott for $50. Oh, let me get
Same
that.
producers as John Wick, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Gary, please play Mass Effect. You can play it in the easiest difficulty. I don't care. You will love the lore and companions. Also, the door opens automatically. Tally is best girl. Fight me. I can't make it like
Mass Effect is a long game.
I'm gonna
You'd have to
upset
sink a lot
a
of
lot of
time.
people.
Let Gary finish The Witcher first.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be a really engaging game, or I just don't like playing it. Like I am not the kind of person. This is my flaw, not yours. I am not the kind of person who could sit down for hours playing a video game. I just can't. I'm too fidgety. I mean, have you seen me on my live streams? Like, I can't even sit fucking still. I'm too fidgety of a person to sit through. I have to do things. I have to make things.
I'm with you, Gary. I'm with you on that. It's just like I used to be able to like game all night. I can't do it. An hour or two, I'm fine. And I just got the PSVR 2 for the PlayStation 5. But I can only play for like 20 or 30 minutes. It's because it's HD. I got a
PlayStation 4. Never played it. My kids took it.
That's all good, man.
Stardust Viking is gifted 20 Nerdrotic memberships for $100. Thank you. Dante McMillan for $19.99 says, "That's what what's your thought on John Bernthal being back in the MCU? Now they're going to butcher him." Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't think the actors particularly know what they're getting into. I think they just say, "Hey, we get to go back to our show," but it's not going to have any of the same writers, any of the same producers. Kevin Feige will be involved, and he wasn't involved with Daredevil. That's the biggest difference. He had no involvement in Daredevil on Netflix. Zisa 1218 for $19.99. There is a crime being committed in the box office. Guy Ritchie's newest film, Oppression Fortune, is criminally underrated. A great cast. It feels like a movie we've been missing for years. I challenge Chris to give it a watch.
All right. Cool.
And it is called, I like Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie makes good stuff.
He makes good stuff. I'm more of a Matthew Vaughn guy myself, but
I like Matthew Vaughn too.
I know he comes from the world of Guy Ritchie, but I think Matthew Vaughn's like a more subtle Guy Ritchie. Layer Cake, dude, is the shit. That is such a good movie, dude.
I love those British crime movies. Like, they're so fucking good.
Layer Cake. If you haven't seen Layer Cake, it's so good. But he also did The Kingsman. The first Kingsman movie is like one of my favorite comic book adaptations of all time. I'm a big Mark Millar fan too. I like Mark Millar, and I'll mention it again. Those guys had a Superman pitch years and years ago, saying it's money, and Warner Brothers has just ignored them. I'd watch a Mark Millar written, Matthew Vaughn directed Superman.
He gets it.
Yep.
He gets comic books.
Gary, I agree with you on Tulsa King. It's one of Sly's best performances in a long time. Agreed. He's brilliant in it. However, I disagree with you on Yellowstone. The plot was great, but the rest of the moves slower than Christie novel. It's good, but not $20 a season good. Well, I haven't seen Yellowstone yet. I've only watched the prequels. So I don't know how it's a soap opera. Okay. It's a freaking soap opera, but it's a soap opera with violence and tits. So I'm like, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Cowboys, guns, titties.
Dude, there's some hardcore violence in dude, in 1923, sorry, not spoiling anything. A girl gets eaten by a fucking leopard. She goes out to pee. Man. She goes out to pee. That's dead. They pull her body up into the tree, and oh man, the worst part is like they don't show it. You just hear it.
Oh my god!
When she passes, you hear the leopard just right into her neck, and it's just done. And then he drags her body up into the tree, or it's a she. It's a she leopard, and then you find out later that they don't hunt in pairs. And the guy said it was only one, and he lied about it. And you'll see. But yeah.
Humans are resilient. How did we get to this point? Like, man.
How did we
groups of us.
Groups.
Man.
We're crap on our own.
Well, most animals won't fuck with humans unless they're alone.
Just trying to live
or
in the frontier alone.
They mess with
is
their
just-
young. I mean, like big cats will for sure. Don't fuck
Bears
around
don't
big cats.
usually, unless it's a polar bear.
Scary. Yeah, I saw a bear up close once. I don't want to do that again.
Bears are scary.
It ran away, but I almost peed my pants a little bit. I was 14.
It's a bear.
Oh, okay.
I walk out of my tent and there's a fucking bear going through our igloo cooler. I'm like, Dad?
Be lucky that there's some food over there he's eating. He's distracted.
And I'm trying to like say, I'm like, Dad. You didn't hear me? I don't know. It's what my dad would have done. So I remember what the Rangers told us to do, which is jump up and down and scream. So me and my friend jumped up and down and screamed and it ran, thank God. But it was just like, it wasn't a grizzly. It was just a California black bear in Yosemite.
Brown bears, you pretend to be dead?
There's a rhyme. I forgot the rhyme.
I know 100% if I encounter a bear, I'm going to fuck it up. I'm going to pick the wrong one.
What's the color again?
Oh, I don't know.
I have bear spray. Okay.
Don't run because they're going to chase you down. You can't climb a tree because they're climbing trees.
The best Harry Potter and Seth for 1999. The best Harry Potter and Superman stories I have read were fanfic. HP and the Methods of Rationality and Metropolitan Man, respectively. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, if there's no weird sex stuff in it,
I'm fine with
write a
fanfic.
story.
It can, like, nobody's saying it can't exist. We can make fun of it. That's all. You can make fun of me. You can make fun of Chris. You could definitely make fun of Quarter Black Garrett. Even X-Ray Girl. Like, I make fun of X-Ray Girl in my own show all the time. Yeah. It's like, get over yourself. That's what this is about. Get over yourself and your fanfic. Don't wrap your entire identity into it. You could be a fan of it and enjoy it. Nobody has a problem with that. But have a fucking sense of humor. Pull the stick out of your ass.
Get off Tumblr.
It's the number one reason I don't get along with certain people that don't have a sense of humor about themselves.
Yep.
Which that is like to me a red flag. If you can't laugh at yourself, there's something going on. And all those people seeking to cancel, that's what they're all about. But it's also children in adult-sized bodies, using social media as a weapon. And it's just bizarre that, I don't know, maybe I have a history of rubbing people the wrong way. That's why when people like overreacted to that Make Marvel Male Again, it's like, you realize I have been a sarcastic asshole my entire life.
You realize it's a joke, and they do, and that's what upsets them. Is you are fearless, and this is supposed to be totally politically incorrect, but it's funny. It's fucking funny.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, it just, that whole situation just pisses me. I just don't like to waste time, and that thing that happened at WonderCon wasted so much of my time. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna do a slow fade from social media. I really don't. I use it to promote. I use social media to promote, but I used to use it to, connect with people and make new friends. And it's a horrible landscape of people addicted to rage. It really is, like, it's rage addiction.
It's crazy that there's so many in Hollywood that get so affected by it. I'm not saying, it is, but like when it comes to when you create something, right? And you get like, you have to be super thick skinned to make it in that town. You get rejected all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that should be your armor. In a rare case, you will see a creative positively interacting with fans and not getting butt hurt, like just whatever, like ignore all the other stuff. Like, don't even worry about it. But it's when they engage negatively with the fans and start getting into pissing matches with with paying customers.
Yeah.
And then, they try to conflate like the worst of the worst trolls, which are either 12-year-olds working out, their boundaries, or who knows what they are, but there's so few. But it's the actual fans who like are throwing up, light criticism, constructive criticism. And then you see creatives just burying them and piling on. It's like, whoa. What happens is, I learned this through marriage counseling. We have a voice in our head that we attribute to everything we read. Text. This is why you don't want to argue with like your wife, for example. because she might be asking a question, but you might hear the sarcastic version in your head and misinterpret it. You're not hearing the voice. That's what happens a lot on Twitter, which could be something completely innocent, like, why did Picard do that or whatever?
Yeah.
And it can be taken the wrong way, and then it turns into a big spat that was never ever supposed to be there. And that's the problem with conflating. There's always going to be bad elements of anything human, and conflating the worst of the worst with all of fandom or half of fandom.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why it's better to come to YouTube, because you can hear us. You can hear us.
You can hear the intent.
Yep. Oridan Royce for $20. I read the book for Star Trek TMP.
TMP. I don't know what that is.
TMP.
Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Motion
Oh, thank
STTMP. Alan Dean Foster
they had
did the
a
novel.
line about the rumors of Kirk and Spock being gay for each other. Kirk is basically, if I was going to be homosexual, why would it be with a man who only has sex once every 7 years?
That's in the novel?
Oh my gosh.
I read the book.
I know way
They
too
had a
much history
line
about it.
about the rumors of Kirk. Yeah, I'm going to have to. That's Alan Dean Foster, right?
Yeah, it is.
Alan
And
Foster,
yeah,
honey.
Yeah.
that's a really good novel, by the way, because it goes into a lot more detail. Star Trek the Motion Picture, I think, is highly underrated, and that director's edition is amazing.
Woo! So good.
So good. I watched it like 3 times. I got the 4K. It's so awesome.
All right, we're gonna have to get out of here soon. I'm gonna read some more as much as I can. Okay, Eric K. I want a Sammy month. Sammy, S-M-A. What's
Like
a
a
sandwich?
sandwich. Like a sandwich.
Sandwich month. Sandwich month. It is sandwich month right now, Eric.
Happy
It's always
Women's
sandwich
Day.
month.
Here's
Carnage Undone for $10. What are they doing to our childhood, TMNT? Why do they hate attractive gingers? Because they hate attractive people?
Yeah.
Which is going to be very counterintuitive for Hollywood, because it was built by attractive people.
yeah.
Well, it was built by mostly ugly producers hiring attractive people for
because people want to see attractive people. It's a weird
Unlucky
thing
in
that
Kentucky for
people are.
$10. You guys were wrong yesterday about the first black female captain in Star Trek. Mage Sinclair was the captain of the USS Saratoga in the beginning of Star Trek Voyage, the Voyage Home. That was in 1986.
Oh,
my God.
That's what I remember. No, but I think Az said there's one in TNG. There's an admiral in TNG, right?
Wow.
We have to go back, and it's been a minute since I rewatched. I've slept since then. Ram Bam, but yes, I remember the one from Voyage Home. I do. Gary, can you give me an idea of which week in September the UK meetup is? I think 3rd.
That's what I'm wearing.
What? Everybody's looking at me. It's like,
yeah.
I'm just expecting you to have a date. I don't know.
I've got it down to a month. What do you want from me?
I want to
The
buy
dates?
tickets. I want
The
to buy
dates
Okay,
so I can buy tickets?
So we're probably going to try to mimic my last couple trips there, where the weather was nice. You have kind of I'm not going to apologize for the term, Indian summer. I don't know if it'll happen again this year, but the 2 years I went, the weather was pretty good in mid-September in the UK. So I would say 3rd week of September. That would be what I'm shooting for.
Okay.
But I'm going to be there for 2 weeks, but the first week is 20th anniversary. Me and the wife are hanging out doing
I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do 2 weeks as well, because I missed my 10th anniversary because COVID happened that year.
Yep.
We didn't
Oh,
get, I was
no.
going to take her. I was like, 10-year anniversary. We're going to have like another wedding, kind of like what do they call those things?
Vow
You have-
renewal?
yes. Have all of our friends come over and have a party.
vowels.
And then
You're going to renew your vowels.
Vowels.
my vowels.
Garrett needs to do his
Your
math.
bowels.
Well, I can't renew
Not a
those.
writer for $10 says, hey guys, okay, but yes, 3rd week of September. I'll get you exact dates within a month, because we got to book it early and we got to find a place to stay, because I think the place we stayed last time, which I'd love to stay at again,
Expensive
I
there.
heard it's kind of hoodie now. So,
Oh.
yeah,
That's what I want to know. UK peoples, send me the places not to go. I need to know.
Well, you don't want to go to any council houses. I mean, that's like going
It's a
to the
council
projects.
house.
It's like going to the projects.
Oh,
Oh.
No offense to anybody who lives in a council house. I have friends that live there, but Like London, it's like any city. You could just get her. It's pretty polite.
The areas
it's really fucking crowded, but I haven't been there in 20 years. So
It was crowded in 20.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm sure it will. Oh, you went in 2019?
Mm-hmm. Very busy.
I'm gonna have some fish and chips,
dude. The tube, you will love the
all
tube.
day long. Every
the
day.
Tube is really easy to understand. It's color coded. It's polite. It's
Is it not
clean.
like New York City? Because New York
It's
City,
not
I
like
get
the
lost
no.
every
You're not
single
going to
time.
get put. Well, I mean,
It's a little confusing at first. But
no. I figured it out.
I'm a
this
Texas
day.
boy, so I don't know tubes.
Yeah.
You just hang out with me.
All right.
We're gonna go to the museums. The museums are.
Yes.
I want to go to the British Museum, the London Museum, where they steal all the artifacts from every other country.
God, I hope so, because I want to see them there. I don't want to go to those other countries.
The only reason the pyramids aren't in there is because they wouldn't fit.
That's right. Hey guys, first time chatting, long time listener. Hey. Just wanted to say thank you for inspiring me to start my own channel to make fun of fantasy TV shows. Keep up the awesome work. Well, that will not be hard to do, not a writer, because most fantasy outside of House of the Dragon is shit. So Dungeons and Dragons, I'm sure that's going to do really well.
Oh my God.
We think it would,
that looks so bad.
Chris, it's going to be so fresh to emasculate a male in a Hollywood film in 2023.
You mean like every movie? Oh, wait, did you see that trailer Ghosted that I sent you that's on Apple TV Plus with Chris Evans and Anna de Armas? I sent it to you.
Where he's the manzel in distress.
The manzel in distress.
It's so bad. And they turned off comments. People were so roasting it.
That's how
really?
You know. That's how
hot. She is so hot. But it looks bad. It looks bad. Jens Anderson of the Tari for the 20 Swedish krona. I would also like a date on the UK meetup.
I'm flying over.
I'm flying over. All right. When I'm done with my video, I'm gonna sit down with the boss, Mrs. Nerdrotic, and we're gonna make get the dates. I'll have a date by Friday. Okay, Friday we will give you the dates.
All right.
Give you the dates Friday. We also have a meetup coming up, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I'm so excited for Vegas.
No, Vegas meetup.
Lady Jedi Scientist for $9.99. First time super chatting.
Ooh.
It looks like Star Wars Celebration drag panel has been canceled.
Really?
What? Panels celebrating the success of Kenobi show and popularity of Funko Pops are still on a go. All hail FNT. Did they really cancel it? Can we get?
I'm trying to confirm.
I don't believe you, Lady Jedi, because I'm sure you would never steer me wrong. And thank you for the super chat. Lady Titan for $10. Rian Johnson is so toxic to the Star Wars brand, what's left of it, that if he is tasked with directing the next Star Wars installment, that will be the first modern Disney movie to make less than its budget. It will flop. It will flop. Solo lost money, by the way. Hashtag Solo lost money. It did. Brightest Day for $2. When everyone's super, no one will be. Syndrome. When everybody's special, no one will be. You're actually absolutely right. You talk about the live action Star Wars a lot, but there are, what are your thoughts on the cartoons, Matt? Faction for 10 Canadian pesos. The Tartakovsky Clone Wars are the shit. They're great.
It is the one and only to me. I didn't watch the follow-up show that everybody loves, apparently, but that was my Clone Wars show.
I did, and it was fine when I looked at it as this is a cartoon show that really doesn't count. Like, it's there. See, when Chris knows this, when there were property comics or cartoons made, they counted until the live action show just either broke their canon or just disregarded it. So it was a nice thing to have on the side. That's fun to keep going, but I never looked at the Clone Wars as being any part of the of George Lucas's Star Wars other than just this little side hustle. But I didn't like the animation very much, and it was fine. I thought some of the stuff was fine. I think I even reviewed Rebels on this, and I was fine with it until the fucking space whale showed up at the end. But I never took it seriously as canon. I didn't.
Never liked it. And I saw it as a poor copy of the Genndy Tartakovsky
The
version.
one
And I was
property where I count, well, I did, not anymore. I used to count everything was Doctor Who. Absolutely everything. Every book, every comic, because he's a time traveler. So like everything counts. It all counts.
What was the name of that drag show?
It wasn't The Empire Strips Back, because that's what I'm talking about.
I don't see it on this the panels.
Take it on an individual movie basis. I enjoy most of the Marvel movies, like The Last Doctor Strange, but it is the overarching pattern that just gets disgusting. I ended up hating all of them, says Eric Pipes for $10. We talk about Doctor Strange in my next video. We do. The horror, or I could just say the horror, for 10 British pounds. In the old BBC days, they used to erase the Doctor Who videotapes to recycle them. Hence, the many lost episodes of Old Who. I wish they would do this with Discovery. Hey, but they bring them back and they animate them, and they also have one, like they did the audio on a vinyl, which I got, which is great, signed by Tom Baker, by the way.
Ooh.
Fucking love it. One Feige to rule them all. One Feige to rule them. One Feige to find them. One Feige to bring them all in the wokeness and bind them in the land of Disney when stories go to die. R.I.P. the Punisher from Random Entertainment for 10 British pounds. I like that one. It's like Natalie Portman putting female directors not getting work on her dress to make a statement, but doesn't hire them at her production company, said Robot Deuce for $4.99. Remember that? I remember that. Sergey Berengard for 5 Canadian pesos. The audience had to learn it. We need to behave for them to release it. All right. We'll get the rest in the square. We really got to go. Chris has got to go. Chris, what do you got coming up? He's going to be on Film Threat in like an hour or two.
No, actually in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
One specific time. Film Threat live stream. We're going to be doing Oscar predictions. I'm going to talk a little bit about John Wick 4. It's our, Wednesday Hollywood on the Rocks live cast. So come check it out. And then on Sunday during the Oscars, if you care to put yourself through the torture that is the Oscars, we're having a watch party, and Gary's going to be there, a bunch of familiar faces. Come by the Film Threat watch party. Sort of just, you can watch the Oscars, but have us on your tablet or whatever, and we'll suffer through it together. So that's, but 20 minutes, I got to do a live stream. I was cooking while you were, I'm making myself lunch while you guys were. Sorry about that. But thanks always for having me on. Always great to hang out with you, you all. Gary, I appreciate it. Gary.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for coming on.
Brother. Awesome.
Looks
Love
like
so
Jeremy and Eric are getting in a fight with Angry Joe currently on Twitter.
Oh no. Been a lot of drama lately.
A lot of drama.
I'll see you at the funeral for Angry Joe.
Yep. I believe Eric is calling him Angry Ho.
Oh my god.
Oh,
no.
It's the Spanish way of saying
Angry
it.
Joe called him racist.
I think he called him something a little, well, that's pretty bad. Okay. That's bad. But he also called him, insinuated some other things too. And Eric was just like, no. No. Yeah. What is it? You're more obsessed with Trump than me, and that's saying something. Seek help. TDS broke you. Also, you didn't simply ask anything. You assumed and labeled people without even getting a reply. It's a common problem from people with TDS. That's Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. It's our boy. Happy birthday. Jeremy's spending his birthday arguing with Angry Joe.
Seems very Jeremy.
Exactly what he wants to do.
Hey, living his best life. God bless Jeremy. All right. What do you got coming up, Cord Black?
I am going to be streaming some Sons of the Forest, big surprise, with X-Ray and Az and Jane Theory in a few minutes.
Yep.
After this. And then later on my Rumble channel, we're going to be playing some more Witcher 3. I'm going to continue my playthrough of that as well.
Nice.
So if you are interested in those things, that's what I'm doing.
So coming up, streaming with Az.
Streaming with Az.
I feel like I need a Hawaiian shirt or something.
Tinkle.
Az is on right now.
I don't see him
Maybe.
online yet,
I don't know.
but maybe he. Oh, already live. Okay, yeah. There we go. Oh, and you can find me playing Sons of the Forest as well in just a few minutes on my channel. The YouTube Rumble locals, find me there. And poor choice this night. We are having John Kokoza on to chat about dating women and a little bit about him as well. We love John Kokoza over
John's
here.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
John's a
So-
good dude. Fellow San Diegon. I'm a San Diegon though. That's what I am. I'm gone.
Oh, I see what you did there.
See what I did there? See what I did there? I gotta finish this video today so I can take my wife out to dinner for birthday. And
Oh,
have some
good.
steak. Going to a steakhouse.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some meat.
And then we have Friday Night Tights with Gavin McGinnis.
Oh wow.
It's gonna get gonna get spicy. We're gonna need a long intro for this one just to give us some padding.
I'm gonna play.
know?
I'm gonna play the entire Filoniing.
Okay.
Oh.
Good. Yeah.
There we go.
There you
That'll,
go.
that'll, I got to beep out some F words, but I've got that set up.
Give us some
Worth
time.
it. Worth it.
And of course, I will be covering that MCU trailer at some point in some form or another.
Dude, you have to.
Yeah, that thing is. And there's 4 episodes in that series. When is it? Is it already out?
It's
Gotta
out.
be already
It's
out.
coming out.
So, I mean, that's what I'm doing all day tomorrow once I'm done with the video.
Binge
Download
model
that.
or weekly release.
Yeah, so, yeah, get your fun in now, Garrett.
The cringe is
All right.
coming.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks to everyone who left Super Chat donation. We appreciate you. Thanks to all the new, the Modrotics. And we'll see you next week with Chris Gore. And we'll see you Friday. Ciao.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.